check. 1 2 1 2. We live, baby. Come on. That's right. Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, let's go. It's your boy Big Chew, the voice of the beat.
You know what I won't
blaze up.
Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wah 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 wah. For your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your boy. For your boy. Also for your boy. Fix it for your boy. Drop it for your lift it up. Then they bust it open, lift it up. Yeah, come on, lift it up. Then they bust it open for your B-O-Y. Bend it, for you rockin' for you, lift it up, baby. Mix it with your bossa now.
Come on, blaze up. You know.
Drop me a nasty beat.
Hey, y'all. Today was a time. Welcome in. Girl, look at my hair, girl. Today was a time. Some of you may notice that my ponytail is sideways, but at this point, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But like the video if you haven't already. First of all, welcome on into Educational Friday, my favorite day of the week. Listen, I know y'all noticed today the morning jokes was canceled. Did y'all notice that? Did you guys notice that the morning jokes was canceled this morning? Girl, I gotta tell you what happened. Girl, so I took off for work, right? Girl, bitch. I took off for work. I'm gonna tell y'all while I'm fixing my hair. So I took off for work, girl, because y'all know I drive an old car. I don't like the new cars. I don't want no new car. I'm not trying to be committing to signing myself over to slavery behind no car note. So my car is a 2012, right? And today I took off for work because I had been having issues. Like I had just got a tune up on it, got all the stuff changed on it. But whenever I would accelerate the gas, it wasn't really hitting. You know what I'm saying? So I called my mechanic. You know, I don't go to the place with the clear woman in the front, or the, what you call them. And I called the mechanic and I was like, hey, can you look at my car? He was like, yeah, I got you. So cool. So, girl, I set up the morning jokes because I'm like, okay, it's just for him to look at it. Whatever I need, I'm going to order the parts, whoop. I'm going to go back home, do the morning jokes. Whatever. Girl, tell me why. So he was like, yo, you're going to need a new transmission. I was just like, you know what? It's cool. You know, my car only have 220,000 miles on it, and most of them are highway miles going back and forth to work. So I was like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather spend $1,700 right now than $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? So long story short, we went online, found the transmission, and he was like, oh, that's why it's crooked. He was like, all right, so did here go to place where you go get the what you call them? So I'm like, bet. So we called the place. Place said, yep, we got it. Come on over. Put it in the GPS. And he was like, look, go get the pieces, the part or whatever. What is wrong with this? Why is it looking? I think because I'm looking at it backwards. He said, go get the GPS. I'm just not look at it. He said, go get the GPS. Go get the transmission or go pay for it. I'll go pick it up. He said, and then you know, you could drop your car back off and then whatever. I had already was on. So I was like, cool. So I was on my way to go pay for the transmission. I put the address in the GPS system. Now I had called my old man because one because he needs to know what the fuck going on, and two because he got 3 cars. I'm gonna need one of them cars. You know what I'm saying? While this car get fixed, girl. Hold on. Let me put some air on here. It's hot. Hold on. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. I'm back. My bad. I had to put some air on it here. Okay. So like I was saying, he was like, so I called him because baby, I'm not about to rent no car. You need to run one of them cars. Duh. You know what I'm saying? So he like, all right, cool or whatever. Now, you guys may not notice, my daughter is in college. And I was supposed to get her a car her freshman year going into college, but financially, I just couldn't strap it. It was 2020. The economy went to hell. Everything I had going on went, you know what I mean? Financially, I just couldn't hack it. And when I told my daughter that, she was disappointed. But you know what my baby said? My baby said, it's all right, mama. Just take care of what you need. And then, I'll figure it out. Boom, boom. So ever since then, and she has never questioned me about it. She has never harassed me about it again. She's been all on some, you know what, mama, whatever you need, take your time. I'm okay. Whereas most kids I see, they literally harass their mamas. I need a car. Everybody got a car. My daughter didn't do none of that. I couldn't ask for a better child, by the way. So, girl, long story short, I put the address in the GPS to go over to pay for the transmission. And the GPS, I missed one of the turns. Now, in back roads of Georgia, if you're from Georgia, you know I'm not lying. When you go on a back road of Georgia, if you miss a turn, you might be going 20 minutes out your way. So missing a turn in Georgia it's not like in New Orleans. If I miss a turn in New Orleans, the next block I could just get that back and hit it back. Not in the back roads of Georgia. Yeah, it's like that in Georgia, other parts of Louisiana. So, girl, I see this church parking lot because I was supposed to be making a left turn. I see this church on my right. So I was like, oh, I will pull in a church and then, turn around and then come back out. As I go to pull in the church, they got cones where you can't pull in their driveway. So I was like, oh, shoot. You know what I mean? So I see it, but there's like, it's like the 2 lanes and then going into the church is like a lane going into the parking lot. So I'm in this lane. I was like, okay, cool. I can't go in here. So as I'm getting ready to come back out, I'm talking about my car wasn't even in the doggone street damn near. I'm talking about maybe just, I want to say the front, not even, the tire wasn't even in the street. All I know is this van comes out of nowhere. Zoom takes the whole front of my car off. Whole front of my car off. It's tires and car. So at that point, I looked down at my phone after I came over from the shock and I said, well, won't be doing the morning Joe. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what happened to the morning Joe. Okay. So my apologies. My insurance company is already on it. The police said I was at fault, but he didn't give me a ticket. Perfect. I was just happy that I was fine. I'm fine. Nothing is wrong. I am good. I was just happy that number 1, I'm fine. And number 2, I didn't get no ticket. You know what I'm saying? Because with the ticket comes all kinds of other stuff. So yes, that's what happened to this morning's Joe's. I didn't know if I was going to make this evening because they had to tow my car because the police said we can't have your car blocking the church. So they had to tow my car. Then I had to get my insurance company to get it from they tow car lot. And then I had to go get a rental car. And it was just a whole heap of things. Then in the midst of all of that, I said, you know what? There's only one thing that'll make me feel better about this situation. Crawfish. So I went my behind down to the crawfish place and ordered me 4 pounds of crawfish, 3 corns, and 3 potatoes. And I ate that. Came on down by my man, and that's that. So my apologies for the morning Joes. We will be making up the morning Joes not tomorrow, Monday. I had some good things to talk about. So yeah, we will be over there. And it's crazy because everybody just get a new car. I don't want no new car. I don't. There's nothing in me that wants a new car. I think that they're nice. I think that new cars are wonderful to have. They're much more dependable, obviously, than older cars. But I refuse to be a slave to a car note. I had 1 car note in my life and I paid my car off and I vowed I would never do that shit again. So I don't want a car note. So, from what my mechanic said when I sent him the photos, and my man, he was like, yeah, it's totaled, but I'm waiting for the insurance company to say what they're gonna say. But if in the future, if I have to get another car, it won't be a new car. It'll be something that I could pay cash for, and then also still be able to do what I need to do for my daughter. So yeah, that was what happened. Let's get into the content. So Educational Friday has moved to Voodoo Doll TV. If it's your first time over at Voodoo Doll TV, welcome. Welcome over here to Voodoo Doll TV. This is going to be the new home of Educational Friday. I am going to leave the ones up over there on, on the dollhouse. I'm not going to move them. I'm going to keep them there because I think that, I'll just start a new train of, and I have some Educational Fridays over here from before when I was doing them over there. So it's, it is what it is, but I'll just keep the train over there and then start a new train and tracks going over here. Okay. So, hey, Gorge Smile. So yeah, that's going to be where we are. We're going to be here moving forward on Fridays. So you guys, I am so super happy to be over here. That way, some of the traffic won't be as bad as it normally is over on the other channel. Now, tell a friend, girl, who you telling? The real China said, thank God you didn't, she says, thank God you hadn't bought that transmission. God got you, Vu. The same thing happened to my niece yesterday. 3-car pileup. Yeah. I hope your niece is okay, number one. But number two, I was 5 minutes away from the place to pick up the to pay for the transmission. So, everything happens for a reason. I'm blessed. I am, hey, born queen. I'm blessed. I ain't gonna say highly favored, but I'm blessed and I feel good. I am good. I'm healthy. That's all that matters, because that could have went way another way, and I'm just happy it didn't. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to me. Shout out to the Most High, man, for holding me. But I feel like I'm here for a bigger purpose anyway, and I'm not ready to go until my purpose is fulfilled. And I think the Most High knows that as well, which is why I'm still here. Anyway, so let's get into the content. You guys, I wanted to continue with Marcus Garvey from last week and then go straight into WEB, the boy. You know what I'm saying? But I said, number one, I didn't have time to prepare. And number two, I have all the Marcus Garvey stuff, but I didn't have enough time to finish off the preparedness for WEB. So what I said was, people have been asking me about this genealogy and how to trace their ancestry, and we're gonna get into some other things too. I'll talk about that, and then next Thursday, for Educational Thursday, because y'all know I'm going home to deal with my lineage and my ancestry. Next Thursday we'll pick back up with the end of Marcus Garvey, and we'll start off with WEB. The point of these videos is not necessarily to expose per se, but it literally is to get you guys to understand that, first of all skin folk ain't kinfolk, number one. But most importantly, the devil that we know is accompanied by the people who look like you. That's what this is all about, okay? We cannot continue to move forward in the future saying, just because they're Black, they must be on the same agenda or on the same page. That is the furthest thing from the truth, number one. Number two, that's how they've been able to pull the wool over our eyes. I think Obama was like the biggest wake-up call for me, because I think before that, in my opinion, for Black America, unless you're just blindsided by the fact that it's Barack Obama, you understand that you were promised something by somebody who looked like you, and it didn't come true. So I just want us to, my series for this is for you to get to open your eyes, and this is not all Black people, but it's for you to open your eyes to see, okay, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't just automatically trust because they Black. Because a lot of times, and especially in the history, most of the stuff that was passed through somebody who looked like you. So please do not take that for granted. Please go ahead and open your eyes. That's what these is for your third eye opening. Thank you, Sonia Mathis. Wait, first of all, thank you everybody who said they had me in their prayers. I appreciate y'all. Much love, much love. Thank you, Sonia Matthews, for this super chat. She says, I'm thankful you are okay. You were truly missed this morning. You make my day every day. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Trust me, if I miss let me tell y'all something moving forward. If I miss thank you again, Sonia. If I miss a morning Joe's, because I would lay in the bed and do a morning Joe's because I do them from my phone for the most part. If I miss a morning Joe's, somebody come check. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just thankful to be here for the Educational Friday. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let's go into back to the topic. So that's the reason I do those topics. Now today we're going to talk about ancestry, DNA testing versus genealogy. Now, what I'm doing with my family and what I have done in the past with my family is genealogy. And we have to understand the difference between genealogy and ancestry DNA testing. Now, ancestry DNA testing would be 23andMe, African, what is it? History.com, whatever that is, where you spit in the tube and then they take your DNA and then they put it in a database, and then this database is supposed to populate some numbers and some areas and some codes, and then they spit it out in layman terms on a piece of paper for you and say, hey girl, we checked your people or we checked your tests or whatever, and we found that you are 60% Nigerian, 10% this, 5% that, da. The problem with that is, number one, it is a less than 1% efficacy, meaning is it efficient? Yeah, less than 1%. We'll get into that because see, y'all got to understand there's a thing called entertainment. DNA testing is for entertainment purposes only. Even though it is pushed to you guys as if it's real, it really isn't. And there's no accurate way to really know your genealogy or your ancestry unless they test the ancestors, or at least one or two of them. Now, let me say this as well. A lot of people will say, well, Voodoo, that doesn't make sense because when I took the test, I found out that my cousin so-and-so, is my cousin because they took the test, because they're testing it against live people. It's not like they take your spit and then they go to somewhere in Africa and then they pull the dirt and they test the dirt against you. Have to test against a person. So they would have to exhume all the bodies, that from your ancestry in order to know exactly who you are and where you are from. So with that being said, I want to show you guys a little bit about genealogy. Genealogy is tracing your ancestry through documentation, birth certificates, government docs, it's like ancestry is the spit in the tube. Genealogy is a family tree. Does that make sense? Genealogy is a family tree. Everybody has them. And it is the most accurate way to figure out who you are and where you're from. There are slave manifestos. If your family or somebody from your family came off one of them boats, I promise you, if you do your stuff correctly, you will find them. I promise you. I swear. But before we dive straight into that, I do want to do this. Hold on one second. I can't see the cursor. God damn. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Is it? Yep, there you go. All right. So I do want to do this before we dive right in to that. Hold on. Girl, they just now sending me that video I posted on I just got the notification for that video I posted on Educational Friday. Hold on. I want to play something for you guys. Because remember I told you guys we are the people of this land. This is my theory because all of this is theories. I believe that we are told that the motherland, first civilization and all of that comes from Africa. And I believe that is a deliberate something told to us by the people who, the powers that be, to keep us confused in our minds off of the land that we are in currently. And again, I also believe this is also a theory because all the other ones are theories. So all the other sciences use theories. None of this is, you know what I mean? But I do believe that being the people of this land, we not only did not start in Africa from a monkey or from the Adam and Eve thing. I believe that we populated the earth long before a lot of these people, especially the clears, even came aboard. And I'm of the belief that America actually is what they tell you Africa and Egypt is. Because my thing is, and I said this a long time ago, if Africa has all of the world's most prized possessions, then why wouldn't they put all their resources there? For instance, like the so-called Holy Land, the Israel place. If that has so much value, then why not go there? Why come here? Why are these people coming here versus where they're saying all the other stuff is? You know what I mean? Like, so if everything valuable is Africa, Israel, all these other places, then why did they put so much attention and emphasis on America? I've always asked that. You know what I'm saying? Now, who am I? You know, nobody. Whoop. But you know, it's just something I've always thought about. Let me see. I want to find something for you guys. I send so much stuff to myself. All right. Let's start with I know what it was. I'm sorry, y'all. I know what it was. I'm sorry. I wanted to show you something about propaganda. This is further proof, you guys, that let me search it in here better. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I'm just trying to. All right. Let's go here. So remember, the propaganda has always been black people were poor, clear people did well. Woot woot woot. Is this it? No, that's not it. Let me go back one more. Hold on 1 second. Propaganda. See, we have to understand what psychological slavery does to us, and we have been enslaved psychologically from the very beginning. Well, from the beginning of their inception or coming over here, and it has literally been able to single-handedly be the guiding force of the poverty and a lot of the stuff that we go through. Okay, hold on. I want to show you guys something. Let me share my screen. Oh, thank you for the Cash App. Nicole Thomas, thank you. She says, I thank you for bringing ancestry to my attention. My family says we from Texas, so this year's family reunion going to educate us. So thank you. That is amazing. Thank you, Nicole, for the Cash App, for the super chat. Thank you so much. That is amazing. And I'm so happy that you're going to go down to Texas. Actually, I have some history in Texas too. Most of y'all up north got that same history down there too. But look, remember you guys, I told you that they made us seem like we were just the poor and they were just like thriving and doing well. Well, that is false. I want to show you guys something. This is from the 1960s harvest. What this is about is, let me back up a little. This is about in the 60s, how what they were doing was there was a class system. A class system basically was the where you went and a class system is what we still have now. You have poor, middle, upper. You got, lower middle, mid-middle, upper middle, and so on and so forth. It has been told to us starting in the 1950s, I want to say maybe late 50s, early 60s, that black people were just nothing and the clear people were just doing so well, when in fact that is a documented lie, number one. Number two, also it helps to feed into the psychological slavery that we have. That's why you'll see people who are religious will say, well, our life here has never been good. We've always been, in a undergirded place. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just going to wait on God. That's what the religious people say. And then you have the other people who rely on faith And they don't have to necessarily be in God itself, but they're like, oh yeah, we're going to go and get reparations because we were all slaves and they were all just rich and da-da-da-da. None of that is true. That is the furthest from the truth. And here is one of a video, a documentary, where you can see that the clears were living, if not just as bad, some worse than the Negroes in the 60s and before, but this one happened to be in the 60s. So I want you guys to see this, because the narrative that's painted to us on a regular basis is, hey girl, in the 60s before Martin Luther King, desegregated, girl, y'all was broke and poor, and y'all ain't have nothing, and y'all water fountains was dirty, but the clear people had the nice schools and the nice towns. Lies. Now this here is in Florida. Watch this, watch a little bit of this, and I'm gonna come back and then we're gonna get into the genealogy thing. I just want to show y'all this because this is very important.
His income. And we take the position that it's far better to have thousands of these folks who are practically unemployable, earning some money, doing some productive work for at least a few days in the year.
This is an American story that begins in Florida and ends in New Jersey.
I want to note out too, they're going to call people who come from other states to do work or to get work, they're going to call them migrants. Why is this important? Black people and clear people alike ain't doing this type of work in droves like this. So who did they bring in to do the work? You get it?
And New York State with the harvest. It is a 1960 Grapes of Wrath that begins at the Mexican border in California and ends in Oregon and Washington. It is the story of men and women and children who work 136 days of the year and average $900 a year. They travel in buses. They ride trucks. They follow the sun.
Well, I don't know. It don't look like we'll ever get ahead. I guess we'll just have to keep going till we can find something better.
A minister named Cassidy.
Sorry, Nikki Nicole. I don't know why you didn't have a wrench, but you have one now. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Universal T, are you a mod on the other channel? Am I missing anybody with a wrench? It wasn't there at first. I don't know why it wasn't there. Let me know if I'm missing anybody else with a wrench, you guys. But look, pay attention to this lady talking about what they have and what's going on.
Who works with them says
they are just as bad as a slave. Only on name they are not a slave, but in the way they are treated, they are worse than a slave. And somebody has to make thousands of dollars out of his sweat. Is that a slave or not?
All right, Lady Libra, you got your wrench. I don't know what's going on. Y'all always had your wrench, right? I'm sorry, y'all. Lady Libra, you got your wrench.
workers in the sweatshops of the soil, the harvest of shame.
Brought to you tonight by Philip Morris Incorporated, makers of Marlboro, filter cigarette with the unfiltered taste. Now, Edward R. Murrow.
This is CBS Reports, Harvest of Shame. It has to do with the men, women, and children who harvest the crops in this country of ours, the best-fed nation on earth. These are the forgotten people, the underprotected, the undereducated, the underclothed, the underfed. We present this report of Thanksgiving because were it not for the labor of the people you are going to meet, you might not starve.
Let me say this as well. Remember, I told y'all they call them migrants because they come from other states. But this is the worst part. When we start realizing that us at the bottom, they use the race thing for us to play against each other, that really it is a race thing. Oh shoot, I gotta get my battery pack. It is a race thing, but it is also a situation where we being played too. We gonna come and figure out a lot more, but let me get back to it.
But your table would not be laden with the luxuries that we have all come to regard as essentials. we should like you to meet some of your fellow citizens who harvest the food for the best fed nation on earth.
David Lowe talks to Mrs. Doby, 34 years old, mother of 9 children.
Mrs. Doby, what things do you pick up north?
We pick strawberries and cherries.
Who works with you out of this family here?
Everybody except the baby.
Who takes care of them in the field?
Well, they just kindly stay along with us or take care of themselves. The one that can't walk usually stays in the baby buggy.
What is an average dinner for the family?
Well, you mean what do we have in?
Yes.
I cook a pot of beans and fry some potatoes or some corn or something like that.
How many quarts of milk do you buy for the children, Mrs.
Well, we don't have milk except maybe when we draw our paycheck, we have milk about once a week.
For all these children, you have milk?
The baby has, she is on the bottle and she uses about 15 cans of milk a week.
Let me add this as well. Let me add this as well. Mind you, this is a poor, clear family. Let me add this as well. A lot of the reason why Black women were nursing the clear people's kids is because a lot of times they didn't produce enough milk, if they produced any. So they can't even afford milk for them to drink as a luxury. And the baby's probably getting some sort of like, I guess what we would call WIC or something like that to get his milk or get her milk. Like, this wasn't just one-offs. And in the next situation you're going to see how, and I know you've seen this clip before because I've seen it, and they showed that, but they don't show this because they need the mind to say you're still beneath. Pete.
But the older children have milk about once a week.
Do they like to drink milk, Mrs. Jones?
Yes, they like milk.
The only reason I asked that question, I was quite shocked that they had milk only once a week.
Just thought they didn't like it, but they like milk, but there's so many, a gallon of milk will make them a glass around, and so we just can't afford it every day.
What do you want most for your children, Mrs. Doby?
Well, I'd like for them to have a career, whatever they'd want to be when they got older. Of course, the smaller ones, don't realize yet to know what they'd like to be. But the older girl, she'd like to go to school if she could. Of course, she'll probably be like the boy, have to quit as soon as she's old enough. She really likes to go to school, but she had to miss last week because she had to keep the baby for me to work.
Mrs. Doby, wouldn't you ever care to have a house of your own?
I'd like to have a house. If we plan to buy one, if we could ever get enough to pay down on one, we'd buy one.
Do you think this will ever happen?
Well, it don't seem like it.
Let me say this before we move on. Imagine being a successful middle-class Negro in a time where a lot of them were living like this. You know, this is where a lot of where your KKK come from. It was the poor middle class, and then along with a lot of politicians, sheriffs, all those people taking part in it because they just needed those people for toy soldiers, for pawns, while they just carried out what the bigger goal was. And the bigger goal was to put their race on top and us on bottom. Now, I'm not saying we weren't poor too, because some of us were poor. But at a point in time, people don't understand. They were just as poor in numbers and sometimes probably more, which is why they tore down your Rosewoods and your what's the other one? All them other places, your Lake Laniers and all. That's why they did that, because they'd be damn if they live like this, eating cans of beans and having milk once a week, and y'all over here thriving and having a good time. So I want to move it to her husband. Because he's gonna talk to her husband. And he's gonna now this before we get to her husband, this the part y'all done seen a million times because I've seen it too. Hold on. Let me let the ad play.
As usual, were left to fend for themselves.
Jerome, how old are you?
9.
9? Do you go to school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school, Jerome?
I did it over Children Elementary School.
I see. What is your sister's name?
Lois.
That's Lois. And what are your other sisters' names?
Catherine and Beulah.
Catherine and Beulah. What happened to your foot, Jerome?
Dig a nail in out there by the wash house.
So you drove a nail in out by the wash house. What did your mother do for that?
She put some alcohol on it
Where do you sleep, Jerome?
in his bed.
You have...
Let's be clear. No pun intended. When they spoke to the clear people, they didn't go inside their house. They had them outside on the porch, right? Listen, y'all got to understand how the subconscious work and how media does. They had the clear woman sitting outside with her kids on the porch. They didn't have no flies around them. They looked like if you didn't know they were poor, you know what I mean? If she didn't say they were poor, it just was what it was. Now, for the Negroes, mind you, his mama not home. They in there interviewing this 9-year-old boy who watching over his siblings. They got flies flying around them. They moving around the house. Where do you sleep? Oh, well, what bed do you sleep in? Why you ain't ask that clear woman that? He told her, oh, I couldn't imagine. I know it's bad. Your kids want to have milk once in a while. But it's the object of optics that comes into play. Because optically, what they're putting in your brain is, yeah, they was doing bad, but y'all was doing worse when that was not the case. For everybody, at least. Look.
This big bed?
Yes.
What happened? How did you get that hole in that bed there, Jerome?
The rats.
The what?
Rats.
Now, Jerome, you are taking care of Kathy, of Beulah, and Lois.
Yes.
Now, are you going to give them lunch today?
Yes.
What are you going to feed them?
I don't know.
Do you have any food here to give them?
Yes.
I see.
Look.
What time does your mother come home?
I don't know.
The following day, Aline King.
Now this the mama. Remember when they show y'all slaves working in the field? This is what they show y'all. Let's look at it. This is what they show y'all. Y'all got to understand, sharecropping was a thing all the way up. It still is today, but it really was a thing all the way, I want to say, up to the 80s. They were still sharecropping. Okay? Mind you, if you know the origin of this, you know that originally this was them folk land. Now you sharecropping on they shit just to have a place to live and not even barely feed your kids. Let's get into it. Watch the mama.
The mother of Jerome, Kathy, Lois, and Beulah, again was picking beans.
Aileen King, I saw your children yesterday at the Okeechobee camp. Why didn't you put them in the nursery?
I don't make enough to pay for it.
How much does it cost to put them in?
85 cents.
Now, this lady got 4 kids. He asking her about nursery. Why you ain't ask that clear woman? She got 9. Why you ain't ask her why she don't put her kids in the nursery? You see what I'm saying? It's the small things. It's to make it look like she's doing so much worse than them, when the fact of the matter is they doing equally bad. Oh, well, why you don't put them in the nursery? Bitch, why you ain't ask them? Why you ask the other lady with 9? She has 9. This lady got 4 and she young. Watch.
85 cents.
That's right.
Aileen, what time did you come out the field this morning?
6 o'clock.
What time will you get home?
About 3:30, 4 o'clock.
6 this morning to 4 o'clock this afternoon.
That's right.
How much did you earn?
$1.
$1?
That's right. $1.
Is that because the beans were of poor quality?
That's right.
Has this happened before?
That's right.
How much will your food cost you today?
About $2.
Aileen, how old are you?
29.
How many children do you have?
14.
Oh, she got 14.
How old were you?
Pause. Wait, I forgot about that. She's 29 with 14 kids. It makes sense. It was only 4 at the house, but she's 29 with 14 kids. Remember, I told you we reproduce way more. She's 29. She hadn't even got really good into her childbearing age. You feel me? Back in them days, you say 35 was geriatric, you a geriatric damn lie. This lady is 29 with 14 kids. She probably could have 14 more if she really wanted to. Now, that must be the 4 babies at the house. But she's 29 with 14 kids. I'm going to let her run it back one more time. Yes, ma'am, 14.
That's right. $1.
Is that because the beans were of poor quality?
That's right.
Has this happened before?
That's right.
How much will your food cost you today?
About $2.
Aileen, how old are you?
29.
How many children do you have?
14.
You heard it. And he asked her how old she was on purpose because they fucking knew that she was 29 with 14 kids. But he did that on purpose. Aileen, how old are you? 29. And how many kids do you have? 14. Why you ain't ask that clear woman how old her ass was? Why you didn't ask that clear woman how old she was? You see what I'm saying? And listen, this is the uncomfortable truth. She probably started before 15. I see Joy say 15. Child, she could have started. And with 14 kids, she probably started at 10, 11, 12. That was that. Listen, what y'all don't understand is that was what was happening back then. Oh, they did ask her. She was 34. Well, there you go. They did ask her. But that was the normal thing back then. Unfortunately, she could have started at 10, 11, 12. And everybody just was like, whatever. You got to keep in mind, too, in the early 1900s, they were marrying 30-something-year-old men were marrying 12, 13, 14-year-old girls. It's sick that we know it today, but that was the norm back then. So her getting pregnant at 10, 11, 12, I don't think everybody was just like, oh, my God, how dare you? Unless they belonged to some type of church and the daddy was a pastor or something and he had a reputation to uphold. Other than that, it was what it was.
How old were you when you first started working in the fields?
8.
You've been working 21 years in the fields?
That's right.
Aileen, do you ever think you'll be able to get out of this kind of work?
No, sir.
All the migrants travel fourth class. If there is a privileged class, they ride in their own jalopy, in the best Jode family tradition.
Hey, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything you did has already been done. They're calling these people migrants because they come from another state, not another country, not another continent. So if y'all in Florida and you came down from Georgia, you were considered a migrant. Why is this important? Now they need another working class of people. And because they need another working class of people, they'd rather open the floodgates of the borders and allow all these illegal immigrants in and call them what, people? Migrants. Because what they're going to say when history writes itself, right? Hey, goddess. What they're going to say when they write their history, because that's how we get all our history from them, they're going to say, oh, no, they were already here. They were migrants. Remember, listen, because look, in the 60s, we had migrants from whatever. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. They needed another working class, and they needed to replace us in the voting. So, yeah, that's what happened. So these are people coming from other states. I just wanted to show y'all that, man. Let me see if it's a little bit more I want to play.
The long journey begins. Through Atlanta, Nashville, Indianapolis, en route to the fields and orchards of America. Lowe has been following the migrants.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yep, migrants. Don't you think that's crazy? Now that they let all these illegals in and calling them freaking migrants? Man, y'all got to see the plea. Let's get into the genealogy stuff, man. This shit is crazy. Let's get into the genealogy stuff. This shit is crazy naive. Do you hear me? Crazy. This is crazy. Yes, it is. All right. I would like to bring you guys' attention to let's start with DNA. No, let's start with how do I want to go this? Let's start with DNA. Let's start with genealogy. Let's start with genealogy. Let's just do that. Let's go to genealogy and we'll go from there. All right. So first we're gonna look at hold on. First, we're going to look at the definition of genealogy. And then we're going to look into what it is. Jesus Christ. All right. Do I want to use the Oxford language? Do I need something going a little bit? Let's just do the simple definition first. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see it. All right, here we go. So genealogy is what I am doing. And we're going to get into what that is. So per Oxford online definition, genealogy is a line of descent traced continuously from an ancestor. I'm sorry, let me say it again. A line of descent traced continuously from an ancestor. There's an example, combing through birth records and genealogy. So what does this mean? A lot of people have come to me and was like, Voodoo, how do I figure out who I am, or how do I trace my genealogy? Because we all know we have the 23andMe DNA, thing going on, spit in the tube, and then they say, hey girl, you this percentage of this, that percentage of that, right? Genealogy is more ironclad proof because it's actually through government documentation. What do I mean by that? So again, let's say you don't know, let's say you have a mother and a father and you know who they are. You can then get that information, take that information, and then find out who your lineage is from all the way back, from their grandmothers, great-grandfathers, and whoop. I always say this to people: start with talking to your family. I know we have been taught to disregard family and just only go with what they're saying on this doggone this 23andMe thing, but that is the most farthest thing from the truth. I'm sorry. If we're going to say that we're so-called African, one thing we do know that they hold near and dear and that they put above everything is oral tradition. Oral tradition. Stories, legacy, da. So if you mean to tell me, if my grandmother say this is what it was, or my great grandmother say this is what it was, you mean to tell me if 23andMe tell me different, I'm supposed to believe 23andMe over my grandmother? Okay. Well, anyways, so that's what genealogy is. It literally is just a family tree, tracing who you are back. If you do not know who your mother or father is, then there's ways you can find that. Check your birth certificate. Your birth certificate, you can look at your birth certificate, and even if you don't know who your father is, you'll know who your mother is, and you can take that name, right? And then you can, because how it works is you can take that name, you can figure out where she is if she's old enough through the census. I'm sorry, because I think I want to say it's up to the 70s now, the most recent one out. But you can take that information and do it that way. You can get other public records, marriage certificates, anything, any type of public record that you can go get. S. Rose says, so how do I get an accurate lineage test? It's not a test. So the way you would have to do it is you have to, first of all, speak to your family. And then also you need to just trace it through government documentation. You can't, there's no test. There's no test. OCO, Angela, there's no test. That test, and we about to get into it. That test ain't what you think it is. Give me a second. We're going to get into it. So boom, that's what genealogy is. Now let's go to DNA. So with this DNA ancestry, a lot of us have been told that, hey girl, do your DNA ancestry, and they're gonna tell you, trace your lineage back to who you are. I always wonder, okay, well, who are they testing this against? Now, if people say, well, that's true because Maury, look at Maury. Maury could say who the daddy is. Yes, because that's a living person, a living baby, and a living father. You're trying to tell me my lineage, my ancestors. Who are you exhuming from the grave and testing my saliva against? And how many people do you have so where you can test hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, and know exactly who they are and where they are from? These are valid questions, okay? I've always had those questions, and I've never quite gotten the answers until I really started just like paying attention. And I let me say this: when that DNA ancestry crap first popped off, I said, I just didn't think it didn't sit well in my spirit to send off my saliva and they gonna tell me. You know what I mean? Like it probably wasn't just me. And this is before I understood what I understand now. But I was like, I don't know about all this. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I was with it. So when you get into ancestry DNA, we all know the vibes and what you do. You spit in the tube, you send off some sort of stuff for yourself, and then they go off and they test it and they come back and they give you your ancestry. Is this the same article? I think this is. Yeah, it's the same article. All right, so let's go into this article I pulled. This is from Vox.com, and it's talking about the limits of DNA ancestry tests, right? And this is very important because they tell you, oh, we have this efficiency rate of this, that, and the third. We can definitely tell you who you are. Lies and cap. Not only that, I have some stuff I want to show y'all too that's going to corroborate everything I say, okay? So listen, let's look at this article. It says the limits of ancestry DNA tests explained. 23andMe wants to sell you vacations based on your DNA, but what are they really basing that on, right? So the article reads, identical twins have virtually identical DNA. So you think if a set of twins both sent in a DNA sample for genetic ancestry testing, they'd get the exact same results, right? Not necessarily, according to a recent investigation by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. In fact, the journalist demonstrated that twins don't often get the same results from a single company, and across the industry, estimates of where an individual ancestors live can differ significantly from company to company. Let me say that again, because I feel like I've jumbled over that. And across the industry, estimates of where an individual's ancestors lived can differ significantly from company to company. Basically, what they're saying is, if you take 23andMe and then turn around and take African ancestry, they can differ. They can have a huge difference because it's different tests, right? All right. In one instance, the consumer genetics company 23andMe told one twin she was 13% broadly European. The other twins test, meanwhile, showed she had just 3% broadly European ancestry, and her mother and her more DNA matched to other more significant regions in Europe. What's more, when the twins had their DNA tested by 5 companies, each one gave them a different result. All right. I want to scroll down to, let me see, we don't need to, let me see, my heritage, what's not, okay, we got that. I want to go to here, okay. The companies do have web pages to explain limitations, but you have to dig a bit for them to find them. You could very easily purchase one of these kits without coming across it. This is how I know they ain't lying. Do you know how hard it was for me to go and find out whether things say educational purposes, entertainment purposes only? They have it on there. It's just not hard. It's not easy for you to find. They don't want you to see it plastered on the front, because if you see it plastered on the front, you're probably not going to believe that they're accurate, right? Remember, this is a business. Consumer genetics testing is growing explosively, according to the MIT Technology Review. 26 million people or more have taken genetic ancestry tests. Tech Review also found that in 2018, the number of tests purchased surpassed the sales of all previous years combined. These genetic tests commonly cost $60 to $100 or more if they contain health information. As the market grows, consumers need to be aware of what exactly these tests are telling them, and even more so when it comes to information about health and wellness. I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of that saliva and stuff, when y'all send that off, they're using that stuff for like health issues and picking up health stuff. And also, in my opinion, conspiracy theorists allegedly to use your own bio stuff for biochemical warfare. I'm just saying. All right. Let's go into it. We don't need to know about, we know the steps. Oh shit, I'm going too fast. Hold on. I think I went too hard. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. This is where I need to go. Remember, DNA ancestry isn't the same as heritage. Here's something else that's important to remember. Ancestry DNA tests don't tell you where each member of your family tree lived. Instead, they tell you how much of their DNA you inherited. That's why siblings can get different reports from DNA ancestry services, even though they share the exact same relatives. It's possible that your brother might have inherited a piece of DNA from one of your ancestors that you did not. It says, recall that if you inherit your DNA from your mom and half your DNA from your dad, recall that you inherit half your DNA from your mom and half your DNA from your dad, but your dad may not pass on to you all genes he inherited from, example, the Ceridian side of his family. Hold on. As you move further and further back in time on the family tree, there's some possibility that you've inherited no DNA from one of your ancestors. This is what the doctor is saying. Does that mean you're not related to that person? No. Does that mean you're barred from making pierogies with their time-worn recipe? Of course not. They're still a part of your family tree and a part of your DNA heritage, or a part of your heritage. DNA is not the same as heritage. DNA ancestry tests sorts of your DNA by geographic regions you likely inherited it from, but not everything about our family histories are geographic. So what they're saying is you spitting in the tube, and they just basically showing, girl, okay, this region of people, or not people, this region or place. They're not testing you against people. They're testing you against where they believe people of your DNA come from. Let's go here. Hold on. Let's go to this article. No, not that one. I want to go to this article about African ancestry DNA. And then we're going to get into a video. All right. This article here is from Through the Trees blog. .tumblr.com. All right. It says Through the Trees, and it says just say no to African ancestry's DNA test. Mind you, it's a black man running this. That's what they do to get us to just go with the move. Oh, he black, he must be for us. You got to get out of that. You have to get out of that. It says, I cannot recommend African ancestry DNA tests. African Ancestry Inc., a genetic testing company, targets consumers of African descent, claim to use the world's largest database of African DNA lineage to determine your country and ethnic group of origin, all with a simple swab of your cheek. But the truth is not so simple. Ethnicity is a complex concept, a concept not as rooted in genetics as it is in socio-political or cultural constructs. That's what ethnicity is. So ethnicity would be Mexican. What does that mean? Empanadas, tacos, I don't know if they do salsa, but you know what I'm saying? That would be your ethnicity, socio-political and cultural constructs. There's no DNA test that can assign anyone to an African ethnic group or what some refer to as an African tribe. Secondly, African ancestry tests too few DNA markers to determine much of anything, much less substantiate their marketing claims. Ancestry tests 8 Y chromosomes, DNA stars or DNA STRs, and about 350 to 370 mitochondrial DNA markers. That number of markers is insufficient for delivering the level of specificity that the marketing is promises. Moreover, the tests, which cost far more than their value, sell on the basis of deceptive and disturbing promotion practice, an effective marketing machine reliant on half-truths, celebrity reveals, and the lack of genetic literacy and critical thinking among the general public has made this company profitable. Notice how African Ancestry discuss none of the scientific details of their analytics or analysts and on their website. In misleading advertisements declaring themselves better, bolder, and blacker than other direct-to-consumer DNA test companies, African Ancestry reminds prospective customers that 100% black owned, remember that's how they sell you, 100% black owned destroys all genetic information and enables users to reverse the original identity theft, trading on feeding of feelings of racial dissension and mistrust among some members of the African American community. Let me make that in layman term. Girl, he just using the fact that you don't know who you is and you a slave from Africa and you trying to figure it out. He using that against you to get your money. The results from African ancestry consist largely of certificate claiming that one shares ancestry with one or more African ethnic groups from whom the company received DNA samples. All right, let me show y'all this video. Let's go over here. Hold on, let me let this ad play. Shout out to UBTV. I got a couple other ones I want to show y'all. Peep this.
I chose Wix for my business because of its
ads.
It says here, genetics, the science and business of genetic ancestry testing. All right, Deborah.
This one is not UBTV. This is, I want to make sure I'm sharing it right. Hold on. This one is, but I think I want to share UBTV's first. This is Karimio. I can't pronounce his name. Karimio Ahau. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this man's name. I'm gonna come back to him. I want to share another one. Hold on. I want to share UBTV's. Is this it? Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I want to share this one.
People have been waiting a lifetime for something like this. Now, this is just a tiny bit of information now.
But they take it as huge.
Right, because it's cracking open the door that was closed for centuries.
There's a place in Africa you could say that I'm from. A tribe. I am thrilled. It puts a name, a place, a location, a people. It opens up such possibilities.
But the problem is, Sierra Leone wasn't the only answer Vi got. A company called Relative Genetics found a match to a single person in the Wobi tribe in the Ivory Coast.
Different? Now, I got all excited about that, and this is different. Now, how could that happen?
Then a third company, Trace Genetics. Your particular sequence matches sequences reported among multiple Mendanka individuals in Senegal.
What's up with that?
And Family Tree DNA, the company that linked Vi with Marion in the first place, came up with a whole list of matches. This goes on and on.
My goodness.
So what do we know about Vi's ancestry? The DNA does indicate that she has distant relatives in the Mende tribe, but she also has relatives in all those other tribes. So no one can say for sure where Vi's maternal ancestor actually came from. When I handed Vi the certificate, she got extremely emotional about it. She wept, and it meant so very much.
People want to believe.
They want to believe they've gotten an answer.
And it's not fair of us to let them believe that we're giving them certain answers, because scientifically, we just can't.
Hank Greeley is concerned that the science isn't really there yet for you to be giving them the name of a tribe.
Just for your essay, this man right here, the clear man is saying, yeah, this shit ain't right. The clear man is saying, yeah, that nigga lying. Ain't no way he could give you that. This right here is Rick Kittle. He's the guy who's the face of the Black African ancestry thing, right? They're going to corner him to admit that shit less than 1% accurate. Look, Pete. So that's what they're doing. She's cornering him. Watch. And this stuff is hard to find. You're not going to find this on the surface when you research DNA, ancestry, 60 minutes. You're going to barely find it. They suppress it.
I think for most companies, I would be concerned too.
But what about your own company?
We have
He
the
didn't
largest,
exclude you. He included you.
but we have the largest set of sequences from Africa. And so with that, we're able to provide some level of probability in terms of frequency.
But
Pause. The clear man is saying there's no possible way that he will be able to give these people not even a 1% accuracy on their test results because he's not testing enough people or, you know, the right amount. He's saying, but we got the largest out of all of the people over here, so we can give you more accuracy. No, that's just because you have more than the least don't mean that you have enough. You don't have enough people allegedly, and I don't believe the people that he said he has or the DNA that he says he has. I don't even believe he has that. They don't ever give you that. But I don't even believe he has that. But he's trying to use, but I have the largest DNA testing or testing of this and that than the other people. So probability, yes, William. Probability is a huge keyword because probability just means probably. Possibility, possible, probability, probably. Probably don't mean for sure. It just means it could or it can't. Both of them mean the same. It's just one mean a little bit more maybe than maybe not. That's all. That black man is on his Alex Haley. There you go, making tails. Yes, ma'am. And you got to understand this. In my opinion, this is backed by the powers that be because they, number one, making money, and number two, it's confusing us like we is now. So now when I do my genealogy and I have actual documentation and I go show and I say, hey, I know for a fact this is what I am, you're going to hear somebody say, did you take your DNA test? No, but I got documented. That way it don't count if you ain't take no DNA test. Because they got us believing that this shit is 100% accurate. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. Let's get back into it.
He would say that even though you have the largest database, it's still small on the scope of things.
As I said, I share those concerns.
About yourself.
For DNA.
And that's the rub. This business of genetic genealogy is fraught with limitations. For one thing, it can only provide information about a tiny fraction of our ancestry. Because we get half our DNA from our mothers and half from our fathers, almost all of our DNA gets shuffled and remixed every generation, making it impossible to trace what comes from whom. There are just 2 bits of DNA that remain pure. The Y chromosome, which passes directly from father to son, and something called mitochondrial DNA, which passes unchanged from mother to child.
Can I say this? Can I say this? And I'm going to back this up so we can see this. That puts a dagger in you are the seed of your father thing right there. Y'all know that, right? They say you get half from your mother, half from your father. You get the Y chromosome from your father, but the one thing that goes unchanged is mitochondria DNA from your mother. So that puts us a dagger in the story that you are the seed of your father, because the mitochondrial DNA goes unchanged. No, meaning you have a better chance of testing the mama than the daddy. You see what I'm saying? And with the way and with the way that they do paternity tests now, I read one. Remember we was going over Krishan's and they was just like you will possibly not to be excluded. I'm like, what the fuck that mean? Is it yours or no? Y'all better be careful with that. Y'all bet, but I'm gonna let them say it one more time. Y through the father, but unchanged mitochondrial DNA through the mother. That puts a dagger in that story that you are the seed of your father. Let me say that first. That's a biblical thing. That don't have nothing to do with science. Let's get into it.
2 bits of DNA that remain pure. The Y chromosome, which passes directly from father to son, and something.
Now the Y chromosome passes father to son and remains pure. But watch what she says about the mitochondrial DNA from the mother.
Something called mitochondrial DNA, which passes unchanged from mother to child.
Pure versus unchanged. That's where we at with it. I ain't gonna hold on to it too long. Let's get back into the clear man, because the clear man is debunking the Negro. The clear man is debunking the Negro. Oh, that's a good point, Chicky. Chicky Cheek. She said the mitochondrial DNA can be traced back to Lucy. That's why they say we started from the female monkey, but then to turn around and say, but you are the seed of your father. How, Sway? How? How? When you said the first person, the mother of all people and human, were the female monkey. Remember? If you go by, if this is how it goes, if you go by what science is saying, voiceover by Stephanie Marie, then yes, that would mean the woman was here first. Now, it must have been immaculate conception. I don't know. But yes, if you go by that logic, yes, you are more of the woman was here first. I'm sorry. Let's get back into it. Even though everything else in doctrine says that the man comes first.
Hank Greeley, a law professor at Stanford University, has studied this new field. He worries that people don't realize just how many ancestors they actually have.
8 generations ago, both you and I had 256 great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents.
Wait, you're saying that if you go back 8 generations, we have 256 great-great-great-grandparents?
Yes, it doubles every generation. So you've got 2 parents, you have 4 grandparents, you have 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, and it adds up fast. It adds up so fast, in fact, that if you go back 20 generations, you've got over 1 million grandparents.
1,048,576 to be exact. And in each generation, DNA testing can provide information about only 2 of them.
So you could be Peruvian on your mother's side, Japanese on your father's side, Swedish on everything else.
And you'll never know.
And you'll never know the Swedish from the Y chromosome or the mitochondrial DNA.
Now, you've looked at several of these companies that are doing these tests.
Yes.
Do you think that they explain...
Really quickly, I want to make sure I got this right. What he's saying is, you could be Swedish on your mama's side and your grandma and great grandma, and you could be Japanese on your daddy's side. Neither the Y chromosome or the mitochondrial DNA will be able to tell you that you Swedish or that. That's what I think he's saying, and that would literally. And I'm gonna play it back, but that would make sense. Let me play it back before I go on and say the rest part. What he's saying is, through DNA testing, through the mitochondrial DNA or the Y chromosome, that's the way I heard it. He's saying that you still wouldn't be able to say, okay, you Swedish or this, that, and the third. That's what he's saying. Let me run him back again.
Can provide information about only 2 of them.
So you could be Peruvian on your mother's side, Japanese on your father's side, Swedish on everything else.
And you'll never know.
And you'll never know the Swedish from the...
Oh, I see what he's saying. I misunderstood it. He's saying if you're Peruvian on your mama's side all the way up, Japanese on the other side, and you got anything in between, you'll never be able to see it. That's what he's saying. Okay, I misspoke. I'm sorry. So he's saying through DNA testing of the Y chromosome and the mitochondrial DNA, it really only tells you about your mama, and you can only get it from 2 people, your mama and your daddy, the Y chromosome or the mitochondrial DNA, and it still won't tell you anything as far as lineage. That is important because remember, 23andMe and African ancestry and all them people are telling you if you spit in the tube, we can tell you all of this stuff. Now, don't get ancestry confused with paternity testing, because those are different things. We're going up the chain with this ancestry thing. We're not going lateral, like, oh, that's my cousin. Or we're not going down, that's my son. We going up.
The Y chromosome or the mitochondrial DNA.
Now, you've looked at several of these companies that are doing these tests.
Yes.
Do you think that they explain what you just explained to us?
No, I don't think any of them does as good a job of pointing out the limitations. But, businesses often don't go around telling you how weak their product is.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring...
Before this nigga get the line, talking about we don't oversell, we just provide a service. How do you determine the father? Because as long as you have... So everything from the father is through the Y chromosome. So as long as you have a living father or a father, and where you can exude the body or whatever, you can go get him, you can test him against your child. But when we're talking about ancestry, we're talking about generations upon generations upon generations upon generations of people. And what the science is saying, according to the clear man, is that, hey, we can only get from your mama and your daddy. It's only from two people, your mama's side or your daddy's side. You got a trillion great-grandparents and grandparents and all of that stuff in between. We won't be able to tell you nothing about none of them. We literally won't be able to see. We won't even be able to see it in the genetic testing. So he's saying that what the black man and these other 23andMe people are telling y'all, are not telling y'all, is that, we don't really know what the fuck we talking about, but it's making us good money. Now watch the nigga. Watch the nigga. Remember, y'all got to stop saying just because he black, just because he black. Y'all got to get out of that. Y'all, black people, you have to get out of the just because he's black, but he's black, he's black. Girl, they got a lot of Oreos running around here. Y'all have to stop that. A lot of puppets. Watch what he said when she cornered him. Watch. This is the man who's over African ancestry.
As good a job of pointing out the limitations. But businesses often don't go around telling you how weak their product is.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring a tiny bit of your DNA and trace its ancestry, we can do that.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
that's pretty teeny.
Let me run that back for y'all. Let me run that back for y'all.
Telling you how weak their product is.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring a tiny bit of your DNA and trace its ancestry, we can do that.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
When you say it's a tiny bit of amount, oh no, Talanda, you got it wrong. No. She said it's less than 0.1%. See, I'm not good at math, right? But this is what I know about the percentage people, right? So you got one as a whole, and if you got less than a whole, then you go to the percentages. So you might have 0.5. That means half of a one, or half of a whole, and then you got they say less than 0.1. Let me say that again. Less than 0.1, not 1. You giving them too much credit, girl. It's yes, Talanda. 0.1. You need 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 before you get to 1. It's less than 0.1. And he's saying he got the best test out of everybody because they got a bigger database. So if the African ancestry has an efficacy of less than 0.1, what you think 23andMe them got? Because according to him, they got the biggest database. According to him, less than 0.1. Let me run him back one more time. We got to see this part. And it's so crazy because you got to corner these motherfuckers. And we got to get out of that, because they black.
To us.
No, I don't think any of them does as good a job of pointing out the limitations. But businesses often don't go around telling you how weak their product is.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring a tiny bit of your DNA and trace its ancestry, we can do that.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
and that's pretty teeny.
Yeah, but for people who know nothing about any of them, I think it's very important.
Yeah, it's less than 0.1. Well, you don't think that? Well, it's good for people who don't know nothing. Shit, them niggas don't know nothing at all. At least I'm giving them a little something. Fuck, that's what I got from it. They don't got. Hey, beggars can't be choosy. That's what I got from it. Beggars cannot be choosy. Them niggas don't know nothing. So if I give them 0.1%, I'm sorry, less than 1%, then fuck. That's further than where they was. That's what I got from it. This the man who's the CEO, of AfricanAncestry.com. His words. That's the CEO. That's the man on the paperwork. That's the man on the thing that's saying, hey, y'all want to know where y'all from? Come take my test. I'm going to show you where you from. And then I'm going to send you a piece of paper. Don't worry about all the details. Just trust me. Girl, you is 60% Nigerian. Mm-hmm. And then you 10% Mongolian. Mm-hmm. And then you 12%. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Let's be clear. That is what he's doing. This is the man who owns it. And I don't believe he owns a goddamn thing if you ask me. If you ask me, I don't think he owns a goddamn thing. Oh, I want to show y'all this. Hold on. You know, I'm just let it run. I'm just let it run because you beat TV off the chain. Let me let it run. I want to let's get back into it. And then I want to play some other stuff too.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
and that's pretty teeny.
Yeah, but for people who know nothing about any of them, I think it's very important.
You see it.
The recent attention being pushed toward ancestry companies is far more than just a ploy to extract priceless DNA from medical research. It's also a method of pushing the false historical narrative among Black Americans that their ancestors were not here before the first Europeans. This process is manufactured, propped through marketing specifically to people based upon the supposed scientific credibility of the DNA extraction process. The term DNA has become a trigger word, meaning accurate or foolproof, as it's seen to the public. But how accurate could a DNA test possibly be, considering we have 256 grandparents in 8 generations, and only 2 can be highlighted through a DNA test? DNA should never be confused with ancestry. Without doubt, this is an extremely vague result for a process that most people think is foolproof. Surely there's a better way. And in fact, there is. Public birth records.
There you go.
The most accurate process of tracing one's genealogy. How far can you trace your lineage? If your ancestors were slaves, did they even keep records? Of course they did.
Did you read those results? 20% European.
All right, wait.
1/5 white.
Really quickly. This the other nigga. Really quickly. Before we get into this. Pay attention to what's about to happen here. So, hold on. Really quickly. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I got something came through my phone. Hold on. 1 second. Henry Louis Gates. Henry Louis Gates, right? That's this nigga right here. Now, he is you got Kittles over there as the CEO, and he's the face. He the one that go up in front of everybody like, hey, y'all, come get your ancestry test done. Please. We got all the T's. And what did I tell y'all they do? Use celebrities as what? What did I tell y'all celebrities are? What did I tell y'all celebrities are? I'm going to wait to see if somebody get in the chat. What did I tell you guys celebrities are? Because this is how they're going to sell it to you. There you go. Thank you, Mihi. Thank you, baby. Yes. Celebrities are puppets. They are placed there just to do what they do. Like, for instance, y'all ever been to a puppet show as a kid? They plants too. But y'all ever been to a puppet show as a kid? They have the puppets on stage, and then they got the curtain, and they got the puppets going, and they talking and whatever. Or y'all ever watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Y'all ever watch Mr. Roberts? And they got these things, and he sit down and he say, hello, Joe, and the little train come around and woo-doo-woo-doo. It's somebody behind the curtain controlling. That's what celebrities are. So how do they sell it to your duck ass and my duck ass? Go get the celebrities. That's why they got y'all, not y'all, but black people and people all over the world or America idolizing celebrities now, because they're going to push all their agendas through these celebrities. They're going to push everything. At first, they were doing it politically. They don't have to do that no more. Now they just use the celebrities. That's why they have all these people idolizing celebrities. That's why when I was so upset about Meg Thee Stallion promoting Planned Parenthood, understanding what that promotion is going to do, all her hotties is going to go to Planned Parenthood. Bad enough they was already going to go because Sexy Red was talking about just go get that. You know what I'm saying? This goes through the celebrities. Now, they had celebrities take the test, DNA test. Peep how this goes. And this the big puppet here. This the one that be up in the front. Pull the strings. That's this nigga. Look.
Wow. Oh, man. I'm horrible in sports, so maybe this explains that. My jump shot is horrible.
Let me back him up.
19% European. Are you surprised?
Hold on. Let me back in.
You have that much European. Did you read those results? 20% European. You're 1/5 white. Wow. Oh, man. I'm horrible in sports, so maybe this explains that. My jump shot is horrible. 19% European. Are you surprised to know that you have that?
Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Look at Don Cheadle. 19% European. Mind you. Let me back this up. The original Europeans were black. So I know we equate European to clear people, but that's not how that goes. The original Europeans were black, like me and you. They literally look like me and you. So when they say European, we're assuming that's clear. Well, in today's society, I guess we'll say it's clear, but that's not really how that goes. But you mean to tell me y'all could look at Don Cheadle and say that he's 19% European or clear? Look, they're actors. This is what they do. Yes.
That much European ancestry? I guess so. As dark complected as I am. It means you're third white. Well, that's surprising. Surprising. You are 33% European. I'm 50-50. To my horror, the chairman of African American Studies at Harvard at the time was a half a white man. Surprising.
He might really be 50-50, meaning he might be a half and half. I'm gonna have to check his parents out. But he don't need no DNA test to tell him that. Half and half mean you got a black mama and a white daddy, or vice versa.
Surprising.
Look, these are real. Here is a prime example of how disgustingly low the world will go to hide who you truly are. They hire their porch monkey propaganda puppets at institutions like Harvard and make them dean of the Department of African American Studies. In 100 years, academia will support.
I already told y'all that. When it comes to hip hop, I've been told y'all that. I said, y'all already co-signed Eminem was the greatest. And in I said 50 years, I said 50. They're gonna say clear people created hip hop, and they're gonna pull Vanilla Ice out the bag, and then they're gonna pull what's his name? Eminem out the bag, and they're gonna have a whole bunch of niggas on camera saying Eminem is the GOAT. Eminem not on the list. Eminem not on the list, and they're gonna rewrite the motherfucking history. Yep, they're gonna pull Paul Wall. They're gonna pull all them niggas. Bubba Sparks. They're gonna pull him. They're gonna get the island boy. The island boys. They're gonna go get them. Post Malone. Oh yeah. They're gonna make it seem like we found what they was doing, and then we just, was doing it too. But really, it was them. Yep, they're gonna go get Drake, Jack Harlow, all of them. They're gonna get all of them, baby. Yes, ma'am. They write the history. So, and guess what? This is what's worse about that. And that's why it's important to understand who your history is now. Because just like they're gonna write it then, they writing it now. Or they have written it in the past. And we just taking every single thing they say at face value. Oh, it's in the book. It must be true. That's literally what we doing today. This is true. It's in the book. Nigga, they writing the book. Of course it's gonna be true if they writing it. Yep, they're going to get the Beastie Boys. They going to get the Beastie Boys. Yes, ma'am. They're going to get them. He who controls the media controls the masses. He who controls the masses controls the minds. He who controls the minds controls the actions, and he who controls the actions controls the world. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? And you know what else too? Shout out to Bob Marley. Yep, Cypress Hill, they're going to get him too. Shout out to Bob Marley. But Bob Marley is a half and half. If they want to go under, one of the island boys, Sean Paul or one of them Negroes, or he ain't even, is Sean Paul Negro? Is he black? Is he black? But anyway, they'll settle for Bob Marley because he's a half and half. He's a half and half. You talking about what's his name? About Bob Marley daddy was a clear. Yeah. I know that part. I'm trying to see is Sean Paul a clear? Is he clear or is he half and half? What's going on? Special K, help me out. What is Sean Paul? Because they're going to put him in front of Beanie Man and all. Oh, yeah. You think it's just, listen, it's not going to just be in America all over. They put these people in position to do just what they doing. Sean Paul is skim milk? Oh, my God. You lying, girl. Sean Paul going to be the Jamaican Drake. Yep. The Jamaican Drake. That's what he gonna be. Watch. When they do their history, oh yeah. And the people who don't know no better are gonna read that shit and be like, it must be true. Oh, look, there's pictures and it's in the book. It's true. Hey guys, no need to question this. It's true. Look, it's in the book. We learned it at school. Mom, I'm in college. I got 3 degrees. It's in the book. It's true. I got 3 degrees. I did a study on this. It's true. That's what's gonna happen. Sean Paul mixed with Portuguese, Jewish, and Chinese and black. So white, Asian, and Negro. Is that what you're saying? I see a lot of Chinese in him. That's why he always kept them glasses on. Now that I'm thinking about it. That's why he always kept glasses on when he performed, so we can't see them eyes. Oh, Sean Paul, I used to like your album. Sean Paul, I was there. Girl, I had the album. I had the CDs, girl. I had to see, girl, Sean Paul, you was a dirty low down. I can't believe Sean Paul. Oh, that's why he always had the glasses on, girl. Oh, Lord. My whole history has been a lie. My whole childhood has been a lie. I can't believe it would do this to me. Girl, I had the album, the whole album. Girl, but they gonna say he was better than, they gonna say he was the Jamaican guy, and then they gonna go scroll it back down to island boy, the island boys. And then when they get them, they're going to say, oh, but they did have some Negroes, and they're going to give you Bob Marley, who's a half and half. Half Negro, but they're going to say, hey, that's enough. Fuck, you want a nigga? Remember, y'all got the one drop rule, so technically he is a nigga. That's what they're going to tell y'all. What? They already acting like they invented country music. If it ain't for us keeping that bullshit lie under wraps, then our kids wouldn't even know. It's because of us that our kids know that they didn't create country music. Because we the ones up in here saying, no. That's not true. I said, hey, thank you, Azure. I sent a pic of Sean Paul's parents on Instagram. He's clear like he's baptized. What? Baptized in Windex? Girl, I'm going to get it. Hold on, girl. What? Hold on. I'm going to get the picture, girl. Wait a minute. Not baptized in Windex. Oh, my God. Jesus be offense. Oh, look at this. Hold on. Thank you, Azure TV, for the Cash App, for the Super Chat. Look. Francis Henriquez in Garth. So that's a white man with a Hispanic last name, Enriquez. Sean Paul was born in Kingston, Jamaica, to parents Garth and Francis. His mother is a well-known painter. His father, or his paternal grandfather, is from Jewish family that had immigrated from Portugal, and his paternal grandparents or grandmother was Afro-Caribbean. Which one? You trying to say that Garth's mama was black? Cap. His mother is English. Wait, his paternal grandmother. So you trying to say Garth Henriquez he got a black grandma? Y'all telling me this man right here got a black grandma? Girl, y'all stop letting them people play y'all face. Thank you, voiceover by Stephanie Marie, for the super chat. She says, thank you so much, dog, for this vital knowledge. You're welcome. Thank you so much. That nigga ain't, I don't even know if he mixed. That's why he always had the hat with the braids and the glasses. I'm going to get a picture. Y'all think I'm bullshit. I remember Sean Paul. Remember he did the thing with Beyonce? Baby boy, you stay on my mind. Fulfill my fantasy. Remember? Come on, girl, tell me how you feel. He always had the what you call them on? The glasses and the hat, or the do-rag or something on. Because he didn't want us to know, oh, Sean Paul, you dirty bitch. Sean Paul, you a dirty bitch. But I'm keep telling y'all, but y'all see, a lot of black people, they believe in that one drop rule. So they just go with that. You know what I'm saying? Let me go get this nigga. Or lack thereof, for that matter. Girl, I wonder if he on Instagram. Hold on, let me see if he on Instagram, girl. Let's go. Let's take a trip. Let's see if he on Instagram. Thank you, Azure. Let's see if he on Instagram. I want to see. Let's see if Sean Paul got an Instagram. Is this him? Dutzy Paul. Oh. This nigga was catfishing all these years. And look, he look nigga right here. Well, he look light-skinned, but not really nigga. You know what I mean? But remember I told y'all he always keep glasses on or something? Indian girl. He special case, I thought he was Indian. What Indian? Like from India? That's the only Indian I would have thought, because it wouldn't have been. Girl, this is a shame, Sean Paul. Why would you plant? I don't care what nobody say. Y'all know when I get to speculating, I just say plant. He probably was a plant, and I say what I see. You know what I'm saying? Girl, let's get back into this. This is a lot. Oh, no. This is a long one. No. That's not where we're going. Let me go back to where we were. Let me go get this. All right. Y'all, Sean Paul lied to us. Yep. So this is going to be Tupac
support the idea that blacks are descended from Europeans and Native Americans no longer exist. But why isn't Native American DNA showing up in test results? Go to Google right now and check out the hundreds upon thousands of complaints from people claiming that they have Native American ancestry. But the results came back and they were sitting there with the Don Cheadle face. All these Native American...
Really quickly, I want to move to another part. If not, because this is a good video to cover within itself, because he's talking about the history. The name of this guy is called Lost at Home. All right, let's move on to Dave. This is called Lost at Home, y'all. It's a really good. I just finished the playlist. It's really, really good. I want to show you guys something else. Let me see if this is it. All right. Let's go to Dane Calloway. Shout out to Dane Calloway. Let's get into a couple of clips over here. Now, mind you, before we get into this, let me say this as well. Did y'all notice? Is it just me, or do y'all find? I'm gonna ask a question. If any of you guys know Africans, do you know any Africans that say they took the test? Have y'all heard of put a 1 in the chat if you've heard of Africans taking the ancestry DNA test. Like I'm curious about that, because I know for us, it's normally like Americans, even the clear ones, it's normally Americans taking the test. But I ain't never really heard of an African taking the DNA test, the ancestry test. I'm just trying to see, because again, I don't want to overtalk and be like, oh no, they don't take it. But I just never heard of it, and I could be wrong. But you if they don't, you know why? Because they have what America is telling us not to listen to. Oral tradition. Stories. Oh, no. This is who your father was. This is who your grandfather. Da, 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 da. I just thought that was crazy. Let's get into this video from Dane about some people. He covered a little bit on it as well. Let's get into it.
The more that you concentrate on yourself to become a warrior again.
Gannon.
Hold up. All right, that hard drive cutting on. All right, boom, it's there. All right. Let me move it up. I'm back a tad. All right, right there. So we're going to start off with number 1. Is this turned up all the way? Yes, it is. All right, hold up. Let me make sure I cut the music off. We're going to have some fun, y'all. Let's have some fun.
To watch my exclusive
content. Wait a minute.
Look, before we get into this, y'all, this is going to further cement, not that what I'm saying is right and what you believe or what you think is wrong or vice versa. This is going to further cement that I want to ask you guys, do me a favor. Go home. Talk to the eldest member of your family. I don't care if it's a great aunt, a great cousin, the eldest member of your family, and ask them, hey, do you know if you've ever heard anything about us having any indigenous, well, don't say indigenous because they might not understand it like that, but Indian. And the reason I'm saying this is because I think it is very convenient that whenever African Americans do their DNA testing, the ancestry thing, it'd be like less than 1% on the so-called Native American side. Meanwhile, the Native American don't take no DNA test. Did y'all know that? They don't take the DNA test. So then how the hell you gonna tell me that I ain't got no Native American in my blood? This is a real question. How can you tell me I have no Native American in my blood when you won't even test them? Because they don't test. They are told not to take the test because they're Europeans, duh. But you know what I mean? They are told not to take the test. They are literally told, you better not take that motherfucker. I find that quite odd that they don't take the test, but we do, yet they tell us there's no possible way this, that, and the third without test. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just find that super crazy. Wait, really quickly, before we get into Dane, I want to show y'all one more thing. One more thing. And again, this ain't to prove that you indigenous or nothing. It's just to get more information, because even if you take the test and you believe in the test, you still would want to know what your lineage, you should want to know what your lineage is here. You know what I mean? And if not here, then before we get to Dane, because Dane really gonna kind of like close it out. I want to show y'all something. Just give me 1 second, y'all. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Let me check one more source. And if it ain't this, then we gonna move around. Let me check one more source. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Because I had sent a bunch of stuff to my my email that I want to show y'all. Let's see which one this is. This is the one we just watched. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, I want to go here. I want to go to the guy Karimo. Is that how you say his name? Karimio? Give me 1 second. Here you go. That's the part I want. This is the part I want to show y'all. Now, remember I told y'all about the puppet, right? Peep, catch. Is that what the girls say? Catch. Look at this. Before we get into Dane. Look. Watch Henry Louis Gates.
Sent me a letter. He's now at the University of Chicago Medical School.
Let me back it up.
And he said that he was asking who at the time was teaching at Howard University. 2000,
place of origin or social affiliation of even one ancestor with exact certainty.
In the year 2000, a young black geneticist named Dr. Rick Kittles, who at the time was teaching at Howard University, sent me a letter. He's now at the University of Chicago Medical School. And he said that he was asking various African-American men if they would submit themselves to this new test. And through this test, he could trace on your mother's line where in Africa you were from. Man, that.
Before we get into this, let me thank you guys for these super chats. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Miss Kitty, for the super chat. She says, I love Educational Friday. I appreciate the knowledge booth. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Meek, oh my God, thank you for the generous Cash App. You are the Cash App. I'm so used to saying Cash App. Super chat. You are the sponsor for the live today. Thank you so much, Meek, with the brown eyes. I appreciate you. She says, after the day you had, you still thought about us, and I don't take that lightly. Thank you for continuing to educate us. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I was like, I miss Morning Joes, but I'm going to do Educational Friday. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, y'all. Y'all drop some purple hearts in the chat for me for sponsoring the live today. Thank you to everybody for sponsoring. Y'all drop some purple hearts in the chat for me. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Meek. I appreciate you. That's generous. I really appreciate that, for real. All right, so now let's go back to the puppet guy.
With exact certainty.
In the year 2000, a young black geneticist named Dr. Rick Kittles, who at the time was teaching at Howard University.
That's the one I just showed you, said less than 1%. So I don't give a damn what school he went to and what he was teaching. He said less than 1%.
Sent me a letter. He's now at the University of Chicago Medical School. And he said that he was asking various African-American men if they would submit themselves to this new test. And through this test, he could trace on your mother's line where in Africa you were from. Man, that was some serious stuff. And I said, yeah, I called him right away. And I said, definitely. How badly do I want to know where I'm from in Africa? But I really wanted to know. I'd wanted to know since I was 9 years old. So, let's go for it. I said, Rick, what's up, man? Where am I from in Africa? Where are my people? I want to jump on a plane and go. I thought I'd buy some land, get a fine little African sister, to hook up. I was single at the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm still single. Well, so he said, well, we had to run, your results were anomalous. And we had to run them many times. But we finally have figured out where you're from. You are descended on your mother's side from the Nubian people. Now, all African-Americans, not all African-Americans, but many African-Americans want to be descended from one or two ethnic groups. Either the Zulu, because the Chaka Zulu, and the Zulu kicked the English in the behind in the Boer Wars, right? Until they finally were overcome. But you want to be Zulu, or you want to be Nubian. Who were the Nubians? The Nubians were the black pharaohs. And so a Nubian, and all these people wanted to be Nubians, descended from the black pharaohs. So I called Malefi first thing. I said, Malefi, I just got my results back. I am a Nubian. Where are you from? I am the true African prince. My friend Anthony Appiah, whose uncle was the Asantehene, the king of the Asante people. When Rick Kittle sent me a certificate announcing I was Nubian, Anthony Appiah looked at it and said, what a ton of rubbish.
You heard that? He said after he took the test and found he was Nubian, he has an African friend. He went and showed him the paper and he said, what a ton of rubbish. Even the Africans know it's bullshit. That's probably why they don't take the test in droves. Look.
Now, why would he say that? Well, there's a slight problem with being either Zulu or Nubian if you're African American. You know what the problem is? None of our ancestors who came here in slavery came from South Africa, the Zulu people, or from Nubia. None.
Pause. He just debunked the test right there. He says he take the test, comes back, he's Nubian. He bring it to his African friend. His African friend said, what a ton of rubbish. Then he said, the problem is, according to the stories, none of us came from South Africa. Nubian in the Zulu is a South African thing. Technically, the test would be wrong because we are supposed to all come from West Africa. So how is it that you get a DNA test that tells you Nubian when it's impossible according to the story? You see what I'm saying? See, he's laughing this shit off like, oh, I'm going to just tell the joke and it's going to land. But you're really telling on him in the same joke. I tell y'all, there's only two places you hear the truth from a person. A joke and Mad Day. That is the only, you ever want the unadulterated, pure fucking truth? You're going to always hear it, mostly through Mad Day, but sometimes through a joke. That's where that comes from. The joke in Mad Day. Because they say slaves came from modern day Benin, Togo, Nigeria, and Ghana. Yes, West Africa. Yes. Yes. There you go. Hold on. I missed what you call them. Yes, Yvonne. She said, so he actually told the truth. He is a con artist. Yes. See, he's just there to sell the product. Yes, I am Crystal told on himself. He's just there to sell the product. He the salesman. Y'all remember I remember I worked for T-Mobile. I remember I worked for T-Mobile and we did the door-to-door thing. I did it for like a month and I was like, this ain't for me. But I remember we did the door-to-door thing at T-Mobile, girl. Whatever. I didn't know what the fuck. All I knew was I'm just here to get you to switch from AT&T to T-Mobile. That's all I knew. Girl, I didn't care what, girl, all that, girl, how much you paying for your bill, this, that, and the third, you need to come to T-Mobile. I remember doing that. Now, T-Mobile could be selling damn anthrax in the phones. I don't fucking know. Ain't got nothing to do with me, but I'm going to sell this motherfucking T-Mobile. That's literally what he's the T-Mobile salesman. He's the T-Mobile salesman. The homeless advocate says they did take people from East and South Africa. My mom's dad has Black Austronesian ancestors from Madagascar that went through Cape of Good Hope in South Africa to America in the 1700s. Wait, say that again? They did take people from East and South Africa. My mom's dad has Black or Austronesian. Is that Australian and Asian? What that is? Ancestry from Madagascar that went through Cape of Good Hope in South Africa to America in the 1700s. The homeless advocate, I have a question. Was your ancestor that came through South Africa to America, were they brought here on a slave ship? And if they were brought on the slave ship, how was it that you were able to trace that back? Were you able to get a manifesto and see that that's where they came from? But and also this, even if what you're saying is true, and I'm not going to discount it, let's just say it's true. The majority and large majority, the masses of the people that they took were not from South Africa. They just weren't. So even if what you're saying is true, they were not taking people from South Africa. They just wasn't. So if a onesie twosie made it in, okay, or maybe a threesie foursie, I don't know. But that just wasn't what was happening in that time. You got to think of navigation. There's a reason they went where they went. You know what I mean? For navigation. Check out the, oh yeah. Y'all check out my Alex Haley video. Y'all gonna see these people be fake and fraud, man. These people be phoning in a bitch. Hold on, let me go back here.
Zero. It's a slight problem with being either Zulu or Nubian if you're African American. You know what the problem is? None of our ancestors who came here in slavery came from South Africa, the Zulu people, or from Nubia. None, zero. When Oprah was finally in the first series, and we gave her a DNA test, basically the next day she went to South Africa to announce that she was opening what became the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy. She was in an auditorium like 75,000 people or something, and she announced that she just had the test and that she was Zulu. So it broke on CNN. I was sitting in my living room minding my own business and said, Oprah Winfrey's a Zulu. So I called Rick Kittles and I said, Rick, did you tell Oprah she was a Zulu? He goes, no, man, she made that up herself.
Y'all caught that tea? Oprah Winfrey go on and say, I'm Zulu. He called Rick Kittles, the Negro, the CEO, saying, yo, did you tell Oprah she's Zulu? Nah, she made that up. I keep telling y'all the truth come through a joke and Mandy. Let's run him back.
I said, Rick, did you tell Oprah she was a Zulu? He goes, no, man, she made that up herself.
Recordings just got better.
Yep.
It's a true story. I would lie to make you laugh, but I'm telling you a true story. So I said, Rick, are you in your lab? He said, yeah. I said, is anybody there? He said, no. I said, when the results come in, make her Zulu, man. You know? I said, you back there making it up anyway.
You heard that? When the results come in, make her Zulu, man. You back there making it up anyway. Oh, yeah. See, when people be laughing, I was just playing. It was just a joke, girl. They telling the truth. Look. Let's run him back a little bit. Let's get him back on here. Make it up. Make her Zulu. You making it up anyway.
Make her Zulu, man. You know? I said, you back there making it up anyway. I said, you back there making it up anyway. Nobody believe you could take some spit and figure out a tribe? What are you, crazy? Nobody believe you could take some spit and figure out a tribe? What are you, crazy?
Don't nobody believe you could take some spit and figure out a tribe? Are you crazy?
Nobody believe you could take some spit and figure out a tribe? What are you, crazy?
But the problem is, Sierra Leone wasn't the only answer Vi got. A company called Relative Genetics found a match to a single person in the Wobi tribe in the Ivory Coast.
Different? Different. Now, I got all excited about that, and this is different. Now, how could that happen?
Then a third company, Trace Genetics. Your particular sequence matches sequences reported among multiple Mendanka individuals in Senegal.
What's up with this?
And Family Tree DNA, the company that linked Vi with Marion in the first place, came up with a whole list of matches. This goes on and on.
My goodness.
So what do we know about Vi's ancestry? The DNA does indicate that she has distant relatives in the Mende tribe, but she also has relatives in all those other tribes. So no one can say for sure where Vi's maternal ancestor actually came from.
For DNA kits called into question. They are the kind advertised on TV claiming to trace your ancestry. A woman says she used 2 different popular services to trace her family history and got wildly different results. Fox 32's Tia Ewing reports.
Really quickly, Nikki, I'm so glad you said that. I had found some research on the Gullah Geechee tribes and so-called being from Africa. That was a lie. They if you've been around my Educational Fridays, I've showed y'all how they got black people to say stuff and read scripts. The black people who were saying they Geechee and that they from Africa, that was a lie. We need to do that on another live. That was a lie. Gullah Geechee are not from Africa. Gullah Geechee they have no African ancestry. I know it's the thing that has been repeated, but I can literally point you to the source where that came from. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's why you say, so I'm confused. What about the Gullah are linked so heavily? How are the Gullah linked so heavily to West African heritage? They not. They not. That was a lie. That was a lie. Yep, that was a lie. Yep. Oh, I forgot I got the, what you call them? I hate to do this to you, but you know, I got to say this part.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied. It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
They may have more connection to the Caribbean than the goddamn West Africa, girl. They probably listen. I will give, and I haven't did none of these. I haven't did none of this research into the Gullahs, but the research that I did run into looking for some other shit, I ran into some research on the Gullah, and I could see more Caribbean shit than African, because like I said, America and the Caribbeans were in trade back and forth. A lot of them did work, you know what I mean? So I can see that more than the Africans. No, ma'am. I think, Nikki, I saw somewhere where you said point me in a direction. Do me a favor, send me an email at voodoodollpodcast@gmail.com and I'll send it right over to you, Fat. Send me an email at voodoodollpodcast@gmail.com. voodoodollpodcast@gmail.com. I'll send it to you, and then we can go from there. But the Gullah Geechee, no ties to Africa. None. Cap. It was all a cap. It was all a dream. No ties to Africa. I'm telling you, this is what they said. I didn't say it.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
I like the curly red meme. I like that. The little what you call it, woo woo. You know what I'm saying? I like the curly red thing. No, what's your comment, Mihi? Let me scroll back up. Hold on. My daddy's people are Geechee, and we were brought back from the Caribbean by Blackbeard and stayed with the Seminole tribe. That's what I'm saying. I could believe the Caribbean thing because we were already doing that, and then when all of this happened, it made more sense. But the African thing, bad enough, we haven't even been able to prove, they haven't even been able to prove that a slave ship actually exists. All we got is that fucking picture and a story of the Clotilda, and we just did a video on that. Because they didn't have slave ships. They had cargo ships, but there was literally no slave ships. So to make that trip from West Africa and populate all these folks, that would be a whole girl. You right, me. That's why I said I could see Caribbean, even Black Mexican, before I could see African. Hey, I'm from South Carolina. We are Geechee. If you go to Gullah Island in South Carolina, we all sound like Caribbean. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Africa, though? Which picture, Hampton's Finest? Which picture you talking about? And remember, y'all have to remember about the intra-American slave trade, the trade between in the states that we so-called have now. And then you also have to keep in account of the stuff they were going back and forth from America to Brazil, America to Jamaica. Sometimes they would take slaves from America and bring them to Jamaica, Honduras, and all them other places. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. Yes, Denisha. She said, sadly, the lies have been repeated over decades. It's not a lie from those who repeated it if they thought it was true. There you go. Misinformation. It's misinformation. Now we are much more equipped to uncover the truth. Absolutely. Yep, the infamous pic of the slave boat. I got it. Which one y'all want to see? Which one y'all want to see? I got the pictures now. Which one y'all want to see of the slave boat? I got Clotilda. I think I still got Clotilda on here. And we always see drawings. We never see actual photos. Here go Chloe. There go Chloe. We got Chloe on here. Hold on. Let me take this down so you can see it. Take the comment down. You always see photos, or drawings. You never see actual photos. And then on top of that, when they do find something, they find you a tree branch and say, oh, this come from the Clotilda. Hey, we couldn't see nothing. You had to feel. It was like reading Braille with your hands. And we can't go take no pictures. But here's a piece of wood. This is the Clotilda in 10 feet of water. That's what the people be doing to us. And because we already so indoctrinated psychologically, it don't take nothing for us to just go with the move and believe it. Literally. It literally takes nothing to just be like, oh, okay, yeah. And I'm not saying that to be like whatever, because I was too like that as well. I just believe whatever was in the book. I was indoctrinated. So it's not to shade nobody, because I was there too. But I feel like it's my duty to wake y'all up. I have to do that part. Man, let's get the Dane. So they ain't gonna play a bunch of accounts from other people who have realized their their roots. And we're gonna go from there. Hold on.
Featured anywhere on YouTube. Hold up, I'm gonna come up. Some more. God damn it. Well, we know the intros, Dane. Good grief. Oh, look at me getting on myself. All right, right there.
Throughout today's society of America, people would say that history was written by the victors.
Shout out Dane
but
Calloway.
I would have to disagree with them, merely because only a loser will have the audacity to write a story to make it seem as if they won.
When they didn't. Woo! Hey, that line right there.
It's really important for us to remember our history.
Look at this bitch.
Unless you're one of the first Americans, you came from someplace else. Somebody brought you.
Set it on fire.
Meanwhile, he's the immigrant. We should have been behind Trump when Trump was asking this nigga for his birth certificate. He on here talking about if you from America, if you live in America, you come from somewhere else. Nigga, you the one don't get me started. Don't get me started. Because who are you? We still don't know who you are, Barry, Barack. Nigga, we should have been standing behind Trump when Trump was asking for that nigga birth certificate. But I get it. I was emotional too. I wanted a black president. I was like, Trump, shut your ugly ass up. Let this man be the president. You know what I'm saying? But hindsight is 20/20 for a reason, because you get to see better. That nigga, man, look. Let's get into it, because my nerves get bad when I see this nigga. Y'all know I got PTSD. He the reason I don't vote. I got PTSD from this nigga here. Which nigga, boo? That nigga there. I got PTSD from this nigga. This nigga had me crying thinking the change was gonna come. Girl, whatever. Get back into it. It's ridiculous.
Because, however, much America strays away from the ideals of justice, the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be, our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America. Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here.
You heard that? Our destiny is tied up in America's destiny. This is Martin. This is Mike. Now, mind you, this is when he was on his revenge tour before they got him up out of here. This after he desegregated. He said, our destiny is tied in America's destiny. Before the Pilgrims got off the boat, we were here. Now, y'all go dig Mike up and battle him. Because y'all be, not y'all, but people be battling me. If you're on the replay gang and you want, go call Mike. Say a prayer. Go get Mike and talk to him. He said it, I didn't say it.
Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here. Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here.
It's up.
This part was inspired when he said everybody.
There's some trick everywhere here in America to the Indians. He sent one priest to the Indians in New York and another priest to the Indians in Pennsylvania. And he just both of them would tell lies to both Indians. And the Indians who had never been at war with each other would start beating the tom-tom, the war drum. And then as they got ready to come together and fight, the priest would run in and say, let me be the mediator. The New York Indians, you move out to Minnesota. And the Pennsylvania Indians, you move out to Oklahoma. That would leave the whole state of New York and Pennsylvania for the white man. You see how he does it?
Hey, y'all caught that? Did y'all catch what he said? What he said was the Pilgrim would come in and go talk to the New York Indian, and then he go talk to the Pennsylvania Indian. And he would tell the New York Indian, the Pennsylvania Indian don't fuck with you, and then vice versa. And then they get ready to come together to fight. And then all of a sudden, they both leave their land. And now New York is just open for the clear man to take it. Crazy, huh?
Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with the original Black American Indians. Black Lives Matter is a propaganda to keep blacks thinking that they're African Americans that came on slave ships. We already know we are waking our people up to let them know that we are the American Indigenous Indians.
Oh. Shout out to Sister Becky.
Set it on fire.
No cap. I remember seeing this lady during the BLM thing. And I was like, this lady crazy. I remember thinking, I was like, this lady, what the fuck? Like, because we were all engulfed in the feeling and the emotion of BLM, George Floyd. Remember? I remember looking at this lady like, something wrong with this lady. This lady crazy. Because she's so like emotional. And she's just like, y'all are the black. And I was just like, oh, girl, lady. This lady. And so that's why I got to learn to be patient with others, because I too was that other person. You know what I'm saying? Because I swear to God, I remember seeing this lady on an interview, and I was like, oh, this lady crazy, bitch. We got bigger fish to fry. George Floyd done got unalive, girl. Woo. You know what I'm saying? So,
hold up. And she said, hey, but Sister Betty, I appreciate the donations as well. I'm just seeing that right now. But let me drop a big bomb for Sister Betty going ham. Let's get it.
That they're African Americans that came on slave ships. We already know.
I ain't know she had a channel. I'm gonna have to go find her.
We are waking our people up to let them know that we are the American Indigenous Indians. Black Lives Matter do not represent our people. We do. Jesse Jackson do not represent our people. Barack Obama do not represent our people. We're not African Americans. We're indigenous. Our African American is Obama. Why? Because his mother's European and his father's Kenyan. That's an African American. A real Indian, American Indian is me. Both of my parents are American Indians, not from Africa.
Black people don't crack. Like black don't crack.
Yeah, black don't crack.
It rhymes.
Yeah, what's the inconsistent?
Well, indigenous don't crack. The natives don't crack.
The natives don't
you can see a native and he could be 90 years old and still be 50. I'm talking for the natives.
Yeah.
I like when it comes to talking about African Americans, I have no education with that. Period. I don't. I'm not even connecting to that no more. That's a system. That's like connecting. Say, hey, he's a bad guy. You don't hang with him. Oh, hey, I'm gonna find out for myself. I'm not African American at all. My folks is not from Africa, and a lot of people in this room, folks, ain't from Africa. Might be a couple, but people just don't understand. I asked my grandma, like, "Yo, grandma, what's your background?" She like, Redfoot and Blacktail Indian. What? Yeah, my mother and my father did. We 100% Indians. That's my other grandma. We got Cherokee in us, and European and Italian, a little Dominican. It's crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? That's why I'm African. Y'all look at me funny, like, nigga, I'm African. Like, you're not though. Like, you're not.
Hey, hold up.
I like how he said that's why when I'm in Africa, they looking at me like funny, and I'm like, yo, but I'm African. They like, no, you're not. I keep telling y'all, they know who you are. You don't know who you are. Right. I remember he got backlash again. If this was another nigga, I was like, well, maybe he Indian, but I don't know what he talking about.
To this land, they give you what, y'all? They give you all sorts of gripe, all sorts of backlash, all sorts of negative attitudes, and turning in. No, you disrespecting your ancestors. All that, right? All that. That's self-hate. That's all that. I'm like, really?
Please
really?
Talk to your family, please.
Read. You have to literally read. Like, I'm so deep into it, I don't think about a slave ship. I think about what was a slave ship called? Jesus. What the fuck was a slave ship called that Christopher Columbus was on? Who funded that slave ship? Who paid for that boat? Like, what was these folks' race? Like, what was their background?
People don't understand. Black people did not just come from Africa. Black people were already in the States. And people got to do their history to understand Black people were already in the States. People don't know that, though.
That video had me hyped.
Oh, man.
You know, they don't know that Nat Turner was really an Aborigine. That ain't Africa. You can look at Nat Turner and the depictions of him and know he was an Aborigine. He had a different vibe about him. So
they gonna try to make it seem like Nat Turner did all that, and they took him out and chopped his bones, and they handed that story to us to try to make us feel good just enough so they can pull it back.
Stopping. Ain't no bathrooms on that motherfucker. Come on now. Come on now. Do the math. That's all you gotta do is do the motherfucking math. For real, for real. The human body won't last that long. You on a boat for 30 days, you ain't eating nothing but fucking slop.
It was 60.
I mean, and feces and shit of the motherfucker that's sitting next to you. You're gonna die of disease, man. It's gonna be like 3 Black people left whose bodies are physically fit enough to be able to withstand all that pressure under the goddamn ship. Come on. Keep that shit.
Woo! Hey, busy with all.
Can I just end with this one thing?
these four brothers sitting here,
talk.
We didn't all come from Africa.
Talk.
And there was a there was a country before 1492, and our history goes way beyond 1492. So you can't start us at 1492. We were always here. We were always here. We were always here.
It's time for us to stop trying to fit in with these niggas.
Come on, man!
One thing we gotta realize,
we can do this all day long!
Dudes don't fly with those. They don't fly with those, baby. I'm grateful, though.
When I was a kid, and I was watching everything Cash Money did, and all of them had each other's names tattooed on them. And this was when I was younger. I didn't understand it, but then when I started going to New Orleans, like, you know, on tour,
this is putting in that work.
The way they are with each other, they love each other a different way than everybody else.
It's Indian. It's Indian territory. It's tribes. Like, people be thinking Indians with the Pocahontas looking. That ain't how Indians look. Woo. They look like them people in New Orleans. Louisiana, all over Louisiana. Indians, tribes. And when you take people you can say that. But when you take people in, man, we family.
Voodoo Dog, thank you for the donation, Voodoo Dog. I appreciate that.
They called them the Star People, and yes, they were black. This is where the word Indian comes from the Latin word indigo, okay, which means blue-black, and it's a skin color, okay? And so the Indians that you see today are what you call $5 Indians, okay, which are Caucasians, actually white people, okay? And go look up the Dow's Commission, go read the Dow's rolls. Back in the day, white people was allowing other white people to sign the Dow's rolls, saying that they was.
And hey, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into what these people, what young Pharaoh is talking about. Them clear people you see running around talking about they Indians, I call them $5 footlongs. They were able to pay $5 to the Dawes Commission, to say that they're Native American, not even Indian. So we're gonna get into that one day too, but just want to tell y'all that part.
Native Americans in exchange for benefits and assistance from the government. So all these Indians that own these casinos and own the land, and they got straight hair and they look like goddamn Mexicans and Chinese people and white people, those are what you call $5 Indians. Those are descendants of the people who actually took the land, and they're acting like they was the people who the land got took from.
Thank you so much, Doreen, for the super chat, for the Cash App. Thank you for the generous Cash App. I am more than appreciative of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Y'all drop some Purple Hearts for Doreen. She sent me a 100 piece saying that she appreciate what I do. I really appreciate you, Doreen. Thank you so much. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. So I really appreciate you more than you know. Y'all drop some Purple Hearts for Doreen in the chat. Thank you. I really appreciate y'all. Like, for real. Let me finish letting this play.
Black people are the original Indians.
Woo! Hold up. First of all,
this guy's channel is Dane Calloway, Dane Calloway, Calloway. Go check him and his wife out. They do research, like extensive research. Like, it's crazy. Y'all go check them out.
It seemed like a month or two after he did this, all of that stuff happened.
I remember that.
Native Americans, we've had,
Look at that big nasty bitch. You seen that big nasty bastard? I can't stand this nigga, Lord.
Okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A whole rack of stuff happened like a month or two right after this. It's crazy how that happened. I'ma just, it is what it is. But he was absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And I believe they infiltrated that, brother. I'm going to keep it like that.
Black people are Native Americans. We've had, a lot of proof that, some of us started here in this land. Everybody wasn't brought over from Africa. So, we have to, like you say, unpack all of that and try to,
Hey, Cube, call my phone, Cube. If you watch it right now, Cube, I dare you. Call my phone right now. I dare.
Find the true lineage of people in this country because.
Hey, California, it is a huge population of indigenous people, Aborigine people in California. A lot of us was going back from Louisiana to California. Even I know I talked to my best friend, and she was talking about how her grandma was saying how when they was young, her daddy, they sent them off to California where her sister was. It's a lot of back and forth. Y'all need to check into it.
Because some, I used to tease family members who would say, I got a little engine in me. I would think they didn't want to be all the way black. But when I really do the research, a lot of them did have a little engine in them. So, it's one of those things where,
Arizona.
We want to be counted on all levels, not just, through slave ships. Like I said, we were here before Columbus. So a lot of us. And so we want to make sure that's included and not excluded.
I'm glad that I came back to connect with my brothers and sisters here in America that was here long before.
Shout out to Professor Griff, because this is the interview that got Nick Cannon in trouble. By the way, this is the.
Let me pause. Thank you for the super chat, Renee Michelle. She says, Kenya from Housewives of Atlanta got backlash for wearing the Indian headpiece. I remember that. Now that makes sense. You know why she got the backlash she got? Because the $5 footlongs is all connected. I remember, and she had to come out and apologize. It was a freaking Halloween costume. I remember I was there, girl. I remember exactly what you're talking about. And they gave her a whole bunch of backlash, and she was like, it's a Halloween costume. How they gonna keep, girl? That shit make me mad. Thank you, Renee. That shit just made me mad. Because how the fuck, girl? I ain't even gonna go to it. I ain't gonna do it. Let's get back into it. Thank you, Renee. You're right. You are absolutely right. Garcelle too. Yes.
Interview right here from Professor Griff. Shout out to Griff. He always showed love to me. Griff, I want you to know I'm showing love back. I know this message is gonna get to you, brother. If anything you want to do,
America Vespucci, long before all of them people got.
Hold on, let me come back. Let me play that one more time.
We were here before Columbus. So a lot of us, and so we want to make sure that's included and not excluded.
I'm glad that I came back to connect with my brothers and sisters here.
Really quickly, I want to highlight something really quickly. Will you show us steps for tracing out the census? Yes, I will do that, Meek. Somebody said regalia is not to be worn for costume. I can't find the comment. You are absolutely correct, but that wasn't what they were mad about. They were mad because she was black in the regalia. Because I tell you what, if that's the case, why they don't say nothing about the New Orleans Indians? Why they don't ever say nothing about the New Orleans Indians? We wear the feathers. We do the shit all the time. They don't play with us. Because you know why they don't play with New Orleans Indians? Because if they do play with us and we really start to paying attention and digging, we gonna realize that while these niggas is around there masquerading in the costume, nigga, that's really you. So they leave New Orleans Indians alone. They not gonna play with us. Because we've been doing that shit. Listen, the shit we've been doing in New Orleans, you could trace back hundreds of years. They not gonna play with us. Y'all ever notice they never say nothing? All these so-called Native Americans, they never open their mouth about the New Orleans Indians. They not gonna do it. Because if they do it, then we too close to figuring out what the fuck going on. The shit is a fingertip away for us. They leave us alone, let us live. Yes, that's what it was, Pink Travert. They made it seem like she was misappropriating the culture. It wasn't the fact that it's not to be worn for costume, because if that was the case, they wouldn't sell them bitches at Party City. They were trying to make it seem like she was misappropriating the culture when it is her culture. And maybe she knows that. I don't know. She might. Maybe she knows that. I'm just saying. Girl, them people is something else, girl. They something else.
Here in America that was here long before Chris and the boys got here, long before America Vespucci, long before all of them people got here, we were already here. I have tribal pride. My father's Blackfoot Native American.
Let's get it.
Godfrey, real quick. You know,
and shout out to Godfrey because he ain't and shout out to Lil Jamar. That's my brother. Both of these are my.
Godfrey is a Nigerian. If y'all got African friends, ask them about this. That if not the ones in America, well, just ask them, Pete.
My brothers, and keep in mind, Godfrey is Nigerian, and I'm calling him my brother because number one, he ain't fake. He stated the real, and he ain't give a fuck that it was going to be on the internet. Shout out to them. They do. See, this is what I'm talking about. When you not scared, you alpha with it. You ain't scared, you gonna let it fly, no matter what. Shout out to these brothers, man.
Full Nigerian. Have you ever heard any?
I sold that house too. I'm not even in that same house. Slight flex, but you know,
like ethnic stories, like Nigerian stories about
my hair longer than that.
People getting robbed by white people. Like I mean, stolen and brought across to another land. Like, have you ever heard an oral tradition like, don't go out into the fucking by the river at night because you can get jumped by the white man and he'll bring you on a boat across the water?
I never heard any of that. All I heard, like my father would tell me stories, just Nigerian proverbs and stuff that it relate to just Africa.
Right, but then so there was never any proverbs or anything that related to, because like if there were millions, right, millions of black people that were so-called taken away from their people, right? Now, as wise as we are with proverbs, right? Like we tell proverbs to teach lessons and shit, right? So wouldn't you want to teach a lesson so that your people would not be stolen and shit like that? You see what I'm saying?
Good
Some
point.
sort of African proverb that dealt with not getting kidnapped by the white man,
right?
Because he'll take you over there on a boat or some shit like that.
Or like this, what story are you familiar with that you were told? And I don't even like to consider you guys Africans because that's a misnomer. You know what I mean? You guys will call yourselves by your native tribe. And there's no problem with that. Actually, that's even better. You don't go to Africa and say, hey, I'm African. Straight up.
No.
That don't happen. Wait, hold on, let me go back to what I was saying. Have you heard of a story? Pick one, any story of a war that took place where some of your kinfolk was captured and brought over to another landmass?
No.
So who are the blacks in America?
This the live
and brought over to another landmass.
No.
Listen.
This the live
He didn't have to
jumping
do
on
that,
my
but he-
feet the other night.
All Caucasians.
Let me see if he got some more on here.
It unbiased people like Godfrey to tell you the truth. You know you got work. You got people out there that's. How much more time we gonna take this to sorrow? How many times we go marching for peace? We still got black people that die in the streets.
This video in the description box, and I'm also put Dane Calloway. Go and watch this man's channel, man. Just do.
Hold on really quickly. Thank you for the
Dude is
super chat.
phenomenal, man.
Really quickly. Thank you for the super chat. Hawkman, Mobile, CPR John. Thank you. True tellers are hated most and supported less, especially when you're trying to save the tribe. Sincerely, patented inventor trying to save lives. Thanks for loving us, Voodoo. Oh, thank you so much, Hawkman. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I am super duper appreciative of you and even your support and everybody in the chat, man. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Like I said, I've never been more sure about what I'm supposed to do in my life than this. Not even none of the other stuff I do on YouTube. I ain't never been more sure about what I'm supposed to do with my life, but this. So this is very fulfilling to see that y'all actually, fuck with it. So thank y'all so much.
With fact.
Yeah, shout out to the Aborigine, indigenous people in the chat. All I'm asking you guys to do is go talk to your ancestors, not ancestors, but go talk to your elders. Please go talk to your elders. Don't listen to nothing we saying. Don't listen to nothing they saying. Go ask your ancestors. Just do it. Your elders. I'm sorry. Why I keep saying ancestors? Go ask your ancestors.
Mind you, people will wake up at different times, so just continue to be their alarm clocks.
I use the word black, and I use that too loosely because I don't like the word.
Uh-oh.
It's a good word. The shadow. No, I am.
Uh-oh.
You call me Negro, you call me nigger, you call me color boy, you call me black, you call me African. I'm not an African.
I was up in Pine Ridge with Russell Means at the Sundance.
One of my dearest friends.
I took my wife and my son. My son knew how to go in the wilderness and build a tent where they stayed. I watched my wife. They put a blanket over her arm because she has Indian roots. And they danced. My wife had never danced.
And Lewis from the islands.
There she was with the women.
In the circle.
In the circle of the Sioux Oglala Nation. And I watched my wife reach down in her roots. And you could not tell that she was not one of the Oglala Sioux women, and she danced with them.
You know what, brother? If you were to walk into any mosque in America.
Night Wolf, you shouldn't have let them change you, brother. It's black folks too. He backtracked on us. I seen a couple of people was calling him turncoat. Brought me up. I seen him. I seen the videos. But again, brother, there's no need.
And I'm here with a powerful brother. What's your name again, sir?
Lionel Van Dam.
Lionel Van Dam. And you are how old today?
85.
You are 85. Something that was very interesting that you said to me the last time I was here to see my grandmother, and we talked a little bit about the Native American.
DJ Divine Rising, did you say it was your birthday, sister? Did I see that? I don't know if I saw that correctly. Shout out to those of you that's celebrating your birthday right now.
Set it on fire. Fire.
It's
fire.
Up. It's up.
It's go time, Slim.
These accounts is just sending me, yo.
American Indians. And when you told me you was a Native American, it really, hold up, say that again?
Cherokee Indian.
Cherokee Indian. When did you learn you was a Cherokee Indian?
My mother. With my mother at 3 years old.
Oh, so when you were 3 years old, your mother let you know.
Happy solar return. Happy solar return, DJ Divine Rising. We appreciate you.
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
Let's get it. Another one in the books.
Have you ever been to some of the powwows that's out there?
Yes, I have.
What can you tell us about it?
Powwows, reunion of all the tribes, all the Cherokee Nation. We stick together like glue. We feed the nation of our people, and we take care of our people, and we never give up. I'll die an Indian. And
That's right.
it.
That's it.
I don't care what my complexion is. It doesn't matter. My kids are Indian and I'm Indian.
I love you too, sister.
Care for your grandma on your daddy's side?
Oh, grandma white was, oh Lord, she was Chico, me, little black grandchild.
Her little black grandkid.
Yeah, she wasn't dark, she was Indian. You know, that mama was from
Indian color.
Yeah, that mama used to have my flare tail dreads and meat, would make meat. She had a nice shape, don't get me wrong.
She had a nice shape?
Yeah.
Long hair?
Yeah, hair was just like somebody crusty.
So she had curly hair?
Yes,
she was Indian?
Yeah, she was Indian. And grandma called me middle of what? That Maddie I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She called me, not Maddie.
Lou.
Yeah, that's my Wallace wife I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you talking about.
Okay. She called her little black friend.
So y'all the darkest one.
Yeah.
And she light skinned like an Indian.
Yeah.
When I was growing up,
to call
I played
a person of color like myself or others black was considered derogatory.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. You know, you call somebody black, those were fighting words. Those were fighting words.
Can you name any other group or a group?
Let me ask y'all this. Hold on. I want to play y'all one more from New Orleans. Hold on.
It comes to law.
Shalom, shalom, assalamu alaikum, family. This is the elder
Baba Rossin
coming to you with another informative video. Peace, blessings, and love.
Shout out to the elder.
To our melanated family, all praise to our Creator and our ancestors.
Pause. We got a super chat in the building. We got a super chat in the building. Thank you, Shamice Pretlow, for the super chat. She said, I never was into doing my ancestry because I have heard that you could be framed for a crime back in the day. But this indie is also interesting. Listen, yeah, back in the day, telling people or telling your young ones this, you could be unalive, put in jail, stuff like that. But we are in a time where we can be honest and we can figure it out. It has been nothing but amazing to me to be able to tell my daughter, you are indigenous to this land, because she already knew she was indigenous to Honduras on her daddy's side. So I don't care what they say. You ain't come off no boat. You from here. You know what I'm saying? That nothing feels better than that. I finally feel like I found who the fuck I am, because even if I believed in ancestry DNA, it still would leave a huge hole in who I am. So talk to the elders, even if it's not your elders. Go talk to the elders. Them people be having so much knowledge. It's ridiculous. Thank you so much, Shamice, for the super chat. I'm definitely appreciative of it. Thank you so much.
This video gonna be about the true Native Americans.
Shout out to
that is us.
Shout out to New Orleans.
That's right.
Talk to him, elder.
We were already here in America. Even ancient America. History is of melanated, dark-skinned people, starting with the Olmec civilization, the Mayan civilization, the Aztec civilization.
Who that was said when they saw that Indian costume, somebody put it, if you on here and you put it in that chat last time I showed up the Indian costume, and you say, oh, I see a little Mayan inspiration. And I said, remember I told you, I said, because the Mayans were from here. I don't know who that was, whoever that was. If you on here, let me know it was you. You called it. You called it. And I said, yeah, because the Mayans were see how shit just go full circle? See how shit just go full circle? Hold on, we got another super chat. Thank you, Shamice, for the super chat. My first super sound choppy. I didn't mean to say indie. The auto spelling is annoying. Oh, you didn't have to send another one to say that. Thank you, boo. I appreciate you. I understood what you're saying. I understood completely what you were saying. Thank you so much, my love. You didn't have to send another super chat.
Also the Iroquois Indians, the Seminole Indians, the Blackfoot Indians, the Navajos, the Choctaw, the Cherokees. Not these $5 Indians, European people that call themselves Indians.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the original people of this land, Europeans. You was not no Indians over in Europe.
Mm.
The original people of this land was melanated people that look just like me.
Mm.
Same color.
Mm.
Even Columbus said so.
Mm.
And they know too.
Mm.
That's right. This is our home that was stolen. And then they put a lot of us into slavery.
Oh yeah. So I just want to show y'all something right quick. When he said they say we look like that, I'm backing up a little
Took
bit.
our land.
Hold on.
When you see those cowboys.
Let me run them back a little bit. Then we gonna
this video gonna be about the true Native Americans.
Shout out to
that is us.
Shout out to New Orleans.
That's right.
Talk to him, Elder.
We were already here in America, even ancient America. History is of melanated, dark-skinned people, starting
my bad, y'all.
with the Olmec civilization, the Mayan civilization, the Aztec civilization. Also the Iroquois Indians, the Seminole Indians.
I don't know why it's doing that. I hope it's not an ad.
The Blackfoot Indians, the Navajos, the Choctaw, the Cherokees. Not these $5 Indians, European people that call themselves Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, you gotta watch them, folks.
They are not the original people of this land, Europeans. You was not no Indians over in Europe.
Mm.
The original people of this land was melanated people that look just like me.
Mm.
Same color.
Mm.
Even Columbus said so.
Mm.
And they know too.
Mm.
That's right. This is our home that was stolen. And then they put a lot of us into slavery. Took our land. When you see those cowboy Indians, the Indians fighting the cowboys, they was fighting us. That's right.
The cowboys are the Indians.
All out west, California, Colorado, Nevada, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. Look at the names in Florida. Look at the names in Oklahoma, even in New Orleans. Chapatula, Chippewa. That's Indian names. Alabama, even Mississippi, got Native American names that came from melanated people that was already here. That's right. That's the lie. They try to tell us that we all came from Africa. Biggest lie ever told.
Hi, my name is
man,
Trey.
I miss
Danny
Granddad.
is my grandson, my oldest grandson.
Granddad.
I was born in Florence, South Carolina.
Granddad.
I was born in 1936. My great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian.
Granddad.
I didn't know her.
Oh,
but
my
I did know
God,
my grandmother. She had a lot of Indian in her.
I miss my
And she was from
granddad,
the
man.
Florence area also. My great-grandmother and my grandmother.
Oh my God, bruh.
We gonna stop it right there, man. I wanted to play that, and it's so much more. We'll play more moving forward, but y'all know I'm taking my trip down to Mississippi, well, via New Orleans, because my origin is Mississippi. And I know I'm from New Orleans, born and raised, but my ancestors' origin is Mississippi. So I will be taking my trip down home to New Orleans to go visit my ancestry and in person to see it with my own eyes. And I will be bringing cameras and everything. And the fact that I'm going to be able to see my great grandfather's grave who died in 1775. My only thing to everybody is this. First of all, shout out to everybody in the building. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support, for the cash apps, for the super chats, all of it. Thank y'all so much for the likes, for just being in the chat. Please go talk to your people. Just, even if you believe we came off the boat, just go talk to your people, man. Go talk to your people. I'm missing out. Well, I'm not missing out, but I'm disregard my best friend's birthday party in Vegas. I don't care about none of that because this is way more important. We could do another Vegas party any time of day. This is way more important. So I think that once people start to really talk to their family and then start doing their genealogy, not the DNA ancestry, not spitting in the tube, your documentation, genealogy, because I'm going to do mine and I'm going to show you how to do yours. And I'm not the best to show you, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm still working. I'm a work in progress, but I'm going to show you everything that I know. But I want you guys to know that everything that you've ever been told has been a lie. Literally every single thing you've ever been told is a lie. I don't care what nobody say. I got a purpose on this earth. And when Dane say be patient, everybody wake up at different times. Because sometimes I'll be like, man, fuck. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be like, man, fuck all this. But I'm going to be patient because I too was the person on the other side. I love y'all, man. I love y'all more than y'all know. And the fact that I had such a horrible day that I had, but all I could think about is coming here and doing this. That's how I know I'm on my right path. I'm on my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I've been sent back to this realm to do just what I'm doing. So talk to your ancestors or your elders. I'm sorry. Talk to your elders. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to nothing I'm saying. Talk to your elders, y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to Joe Shaw up out of here. I'm going to play a couple of videos, then Joe Shaw up out of here. Peace, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
I'm really tired of the manipulation. I'm tired of how the press is manipulating everything that's been happening in this situation. They do not tell the truth. They're liars. And they manipulate our history books. The history books are not true. It's a lie. The history books are lying. You need to know that. You must know that. All the forms of popular music, from jazz to hip hop to bebop to soul, you talk about the different dances, from the cakewalk to the jitterbug to the Charleston.
They built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
That's it. Stake your claim and nobody wants you.
Go.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. We live, baby. Come on. That's right. Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, let's go. It's your boy Big Chew, the voice of the beat. You know what I won't blaze up. Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wah 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 wah. For your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your boy. For your boy. Also for your boy. Fix it for your boy. Drop it for your lift it up. Then they bust it open, lift it up. Yeah, come on, lift it up. Then they bust it open for your B-O-Y. For your rockin' for your lift it up, baby. Mix it with your bossa now. Come on, Blaze, so you know. Drop me a nasty beat.
Mr. Carroll, how you give the voodoo doll time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.